YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. Hi. How y'all doing? Okay, y'all, look. So we're just gonna do just a regular Q&A. I was gonna do the consults, but it's nighttime and I'm not gonna be on here for a long, just probably like an hour. So I figured I'd just come and just answer some questions because you guys were leaving a lot of questions in the comment section about the videos that I posted. So I was like, oh, they confused. Yes, how y'all doing? No, I have tape ins. Thank you. Yeah, credit questions, of course. Of course, credit questions. I got my little matcha, y'all. I need a spoon though, because it's not mixed up properly. Oh yeah. I'm seeing it on YouTube. My bad, y'all. Hold on. I'm trying to mix my little matcha. Mix my little matcha. Made collection almost 2 years old. Should I challenge it or let it ride or settle? What is the balance? Because that's the most important part when it comes to medical collections. If the balance is under 500, then I wouldn't challenge it. I would just leave it because it's going to be deleted. Hey, it's going to be deleted anyway. But if it's over 500, then I would challenge it if I were you. Uh-huh. Yeah, I make my own matcha. I be reusing my Starbucks cup, but I make my own matcha at home. Yeah. It's super easy though. Making a matcha latte is like super easy, literally. Yeah, so you know what? I mean, I wasn't going to do the consults. Did you guys want to do them? I can do them on YouTube. I wasn't going to do them, but I guess we can. I mean, I don't know why I'm against it right now. Do you help with business credit? So no, I only am certified to teach personal credit. I do build my own business credit personally, but I'm not certified in it, so I don't. I stay away from that. I stick to personal credit. Experian keeps updating my collections without sending me proof I requested. Are you sending the same? Like, are you constantly sending them the same letter? And what are you challenging? Yeah, okay. No, don't do it. Or yeah. See, I'm seeing some yeses and some nos. Will they be deleted even if not paid the medical collection? Yes. So if they are under $500, even if they are unpaid, they'll still be deleted from your credit profile. Does it make sense to remove a charge off if there was several years of great payment history before it was charged off? So when it comes to a charge off account, regardless of the history within that charge off, that account is a key derogatory. So it trumps the payment history, you know. So if it were just like a closed account, then my answer would change. But being that the account was actually charged off, yeah, there's no good enough payment history to that would justify a charge off if you can get it removed. But most charge offs won't be removed. But if you can get it removed, I would. Yeah, tape ins. I have tape ins. I wanted peekaboo highlights, which when my hair is not curled, when it's straight, you can't even really see the highlights. So that's what I wanted. It's called peekaboo. Can I please pay you to get my credit? So I don't take cards no more. I can't. Just well, I mean, I just don't do. I just don't have the time to dedicate to it. So I just can't do it right now. I'm filing bankruptcy. Should I have old inquiries removed from my credit report? That would not like impact your bankruptcy at all. I would not like trip on that if I were you. Like I don't. It won't make a difference in your credit profile. Just want to say you're amazing and helped me tremendously in the past year. Oh, thank you, Brenda. I sent all my documents from Pacer, LexisNexis, and the courts. All the credit bureaus still came back verified and accurate, even with LN saying it's unverified and deleted. Did you watch the full bankruptcy video? Because that can happen, and most times it does happen. So you do have to go back and forth with them, as well as eventually likely taking it up to the CFPB. So it's just all part of the process. It's a very tedious process. What about coaching business? What you mean? Coaching business? Like sports? Oh, why did I say sports? Why did my brain go to sports? if I have a company contacting me by email, no phone calls or mail letters, what should I do? So yeah, they can legally contact you via email as well as social media now. So unfortunately, like they can do that. Now, what I will say is if it's not already on your credit report, I would suggest that you send them a debt validation letter ASAP. That just means that they either just got the account or are about to sell the account or about to place it on your credit report. If I owe, hold on, wait. I'm having a hard time getting late payments removed from Fed loan servicing. I use delay payment letter. Is there anything else I can do to help? So there's nothing else at this time because they are federal loans. I have noticed that they've like slowed down a lot tremendously with updating delay payments when it comes to Fed loans. And I think it's because of the switch that they're making. So you may need to hold off until they like transfer all of the accounts over to the new lender and maybe try again. Maybe that has something to do with it. And I will say, typically speaking, after a switch, after they sell it, it's typically easier to challenge the payment history. So I low key would kind of like wait a little bit if I were you. I'm from STL, saw you in ATL. Yes, I'm from St. Louis too. That's where I was born and raised in St. Louis. But yeah, shout out to you. Can you refer us to someone that business? I I'll have to look into it because I don't know who actually does it for you. You know what I mean? Do you want like a do it yourself or them to do it for you? Yes, born and raised. I didn't I left St. Louis for college. When I went away to college, I haven't lived there since, but my entire family still lives in St. Louis. I'm rebuilding. I got one credit card in July. How soon should I get my second one? July. You can get your second one now. So the first two you can literally get them back to back, and then after like you have at least two, that's when I start suggesting waiting at least 6 months in between applications when you are kind of like in that beginning stage of building. Um, so you good to get another one right now. And now if you have a starter card or a subprime card, since you already have one, the max is one more. Like, don't get outside of like if you decide to get one more starter card or secure card, don't get any more outside of that. Also, being that it's been since July, you may need to just wait like a month or two and just apply for a traditional mid-tier card. Um, just so you can skip the whole starter card again if you already have one. Can you remove evictions from LexisNexis? Yes. Anything that can't be validated on any report about you, whether that's your credit report or the reports assigned to you from the third party entities or third party agencies, you can dispute them. You can dispute them. You can challenge them. If they can't validate it, it'll be deleted. LexisNexis is typically easier to challenge and dispute with because it's just less volume than the credit bureaus. So I find that they're way easier. And when it comes to evictions or any other public record, I would suggest that you attack it on LexisNexis first, as well as CoreLogic, as well as Anovis, and then challenge it with the big three if it's reporting on the big three. FICO scores are different. What is the most accurate way to view your score? So yeah, we have so many versions of our FICO scores, but the best place to get them is the My FICO app or the Experian app. So both of those cost, unfortunately. If you download the Experian app, though, you'll be able to get your Experian credit report for free. However, like TransUnion and Equifax, you'll have to pay for those. But yeah, those are my favorite two sources to get my accurate scores from. Do I send a debt validation letter by email? I never sent anything by email. If you can, I will send it via mail. I would absolutely send it via mail. Because the FDCPA protects written communication. It's unclear if they consider email written communication. So just to make sure that you are not relinquishing I send you, Kylie, any of your rights, I will go ahead and mail it. Can I dispute 5 hard inquiries from buying a car? They were all ran in one day. Yeah, you can, but you probably won't gain any credit points from that because they were likely deduplicated. So any like inquiries that you apply for within a 14-day span, it's automatically kind of like deduplicated down to 1. So you may have 5 on your credit report, but like only 1 is actually affecting your score. But yeah, you technically can challenge them. Don't challenge the company that you are with, though, of course. You never want to challenge an inquiry tied to any open account or any company that you are currently doing business with. I just got approved I just got approved for a CC. Due date is 10/20, and I'll know my minimum payment by 9/20. What's the best payment strategy for good credit utilization? So for credit utilization, for credit utilization, damn, I can't talk tonight. For credit utilization specifically, Lord, for credit utilization specifically, you want to make sure that you reduce your balance down to under 10% by your statement date. So technically speaking, about 3 days before your statement date, so that you can make sure that any payment that you post will actually post and count towards this billing cycle. Because if your payment is still pending past your statement date, then it'll count for your next billing cycle and not this one. So your utilization will still reflect high. So make sure that even if you do decide to pay, let's say the minimum payment for your due date, just to avoid any late payments or any late fees, make sure that by your statement date, your balance is reduced to under 10% of whatever the limit is on that card. Like I said, 2 to 3 days before. Hey Shonda, I review my Clue report, but do not understand it to see if anything is wrong. Do you have a video that I can review? So I don't have a video dedicated directly to the Clue report, but I would say just like look at the record and see if there's any information in regards to maybe accidents or traffic tickets, or just look at it to see. You'll be able to know if something is bad because it'll literally say like, an accident or whatever. Not everything you have to dispute, because something LexisNexis keeps track of so much information, and a lot of it is just like pointless. You will be wasting your time disputing it. But if there is something that is, I guess, detrimental to your credit report, then that's what you would challenge. So one thing that I always like to challenge on LexisNexis is names, addresses, from all the personal information, all the excess personal information outside of whatever your current personal information is. I like to challenge that with LexisNexis, because the credit bureaus definitely will hold on to that information if LexisNexis is still reporting it a lot of times. And then also that makes it like, when collection agencies can't find you, they most likely will pull your LexisNexis report to determine like where you work, or, what's your address, or how they can contact you. So I like to keep my LexisNexis report as slim as possible. But even a LexisNexis slim is still very, very freaking detailed, because they just have so much information. Oops, might be it. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with checking for. Yeah, no, when you check your own credit, you don't lose any points. It does not count as a hard inquiry when you are checking your own credit. But one interesting thing is, if you look at your soft inquiries, like if you get your real credit report and you look at these soft inquiries, you're going to see every time you checked your credit report. But keep in mind, soft inquiries do not affect your score. They are for your information only. Like lenders can't even see the soft inquiries, but I do like to monitor my soft inquiries to see, number one, what collection agencies are pulling my credit. Number two, what other companies in general are pulling my credit, and just to see all of the companies that are, pre-screening me for offers and things of that nature. But make sure y'all check y'all soft inquiries. I know it does not affect your score, but like it's important, especially when it comes to collections. Renegotiate a better percentage rate on credit cards. So typically speaking, you have to wait until at least 1 to 2 years of being a customer with that company. Obviously, you have to have perfect payment history, and being very responsible, paying down your car, being a valued customer, because it is up to them. Like, it's at their discretion. So if they do not want to reduce your interest rate, they don't have to. They're under no legal, they're under no, they don't have to. Shit. I don't know what word I was thinking of, but they don't have to. So you want to be nice. You want to make sure you're a stellar customer. You want to make sure that you express in a kind way that, you enjoy being with their company. But the only thing that's keeping you from continuing the relationship is because the interest rate is so high. You felt like you've shown more than enough of how responsible you are, blah, 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 blah. Just basically you have to justify why they should lower your interest. Amex is typically not easy to deal with, but like they have reduced 3 of my interest rates for my credit cards. Chase, I've asked like 5 times and they only did 1. So it all depends. It literally all depends. Let me see. Disputing evictions for good, not just in LexisNexis. Yeah, it starts with LexisNexis though, because what you may not realize is when it comes to any public record, LexisNexis and the other third party agencies are the ones that's supplying that information to the credit bureaus. So getting it deleted from them makes it easier for you to get it deleted from the big three. So, and also when you, let's say your eviction is not even reporting to the big three, because a lot of evictions never even make your official credit report. So a lot of people forget about them. And then when they go and apply for a home or an apartment, their leasing agent will likely pull these third party reports in addition to their credit report, because they know that it does give a fuller picture of what's going on, your rental history and things of that nature. So they'll see your eviction. I always suggest that you get it deleted from the third parties as well. First. Yeah, most evictions are not on credit reports. A lot of judgments don't even make credit reports anymore. But for sure, most evictions don't make it, but they will still be in LexisNexis, Anovis, CoreLogic, Experian Rent Bureau, and yes, all I can think of right now. Yes, do what Brown Sugar said. She said, like the video. So if you are watching this, like the video. Thank you. I'll be forgetting. Let me see. Are there how do you block an eviction? What do you mean block it? There's no way for you to block it. Like, are you saying like block it from reporting on your credit report? Unfortunately, there's no way for you to do that. A medical collection after Chapter 7, what to do? So if the medical collection is under $500, then I would not worry about it because it'll automatically be deleted soon anyway. However, if the balance is over $500, then you're going to want to send the HIPAA letters. If you follow me on Instagram, they're in the highlights. If you go under collections, I want to say, you can see the HIPAA letters in the highlights. Yeah, I'm on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. We all over the place tonight. Should you freeze your LexisNexis? So it depends on why you want to freeze it. If you freezing it in hopes that it'll help you dispute something better with the credit bureaus or something like that, then you're wasting your time, because even a suppressed LexisNexis will still be able to be seen by the credit bureaus. So you're suppressing it from like third party companies so that they won't be able to like market to you and things of that nature. If that's your goal, then yeah, go ahead and suppress it. I'm just under the belief of, why suppress when you can just get it off? Because the suppression of records, number one, it's a red flag. So if a company is trying to pull your report and you have to qualify, and one of your reports are locked, they're either going to say you're denied because we can't see it, or request that you unlock it. So then when you unlock it, the item is still there. So you just delete it. I mean, just get it deleted, because then you're not having to hide anything, or try to suppress and keep people out when, just challenge it. My dog. Let me see. How long do you need to wait before disputing increase on your report? So there's no wait time. Like, you can do it the next day if you want to. Like I said, just don't dispute any increase tied to any open accounts or any businesses or any companies that you do business with. Even if let's say you already have a Capital One credit card, and then you apply for another Capital One credit card, but they denied you. You still can't fight that inquiry because you already have another account with Capital One. So you don't want them to close your account for an inquiry. It's will never be worth it to close an entire account for just an inquiry. So yeah. Is it worth it to use Rent Reporters or Rental Karma to report your rent to the credit bureaus? So, I mean, I don't know how to answer it other than like, those are not considered like substantiated accounts for your credit report. Like, those are considered like self-reported accounts. So it's like they don't weigh them in the same way, unfortunately. I would suggest, instead of paying for them to report that for you, literally just get a self-lender. Like, just get a self-lender loan or a Chime credit builder loan. One of those, like pledge loans. Just get a short-term installment, one of those, and that'll help you more. That'll benefit you more because it's being reported directly by the company. It's not like a third-party thing where it's considered a self-reported account, which is just not respected, unfortunately. So it just won't add much substance to your profile aside of just being another account that's on your profile. So like I always say, like, be intentional about building your credit. Don't just add accounts just for the sake of adding accounts. You want it to make sense. So to get the best bang out of your buck, I would highly suggest that you just get the $25 a month, or I think the lowest is $20 a month pledge loan or credit builder loan. That'll do more for your credit profile in total than a self-reported rent account, which, I mean, I don't understand why we don't get credited for rent, and that's a whole nother conversation. But like, yeah, I wouldn't waste the money on doing it, because you gotta pay Rental Karma and all the other places to report your rent. Let me see. Can I remove settled accounts, like collections or charge-offs? What type of info does CoreLogic store about consumer scorecard? They're like a mini LexisNexis, but like they don't have as much information as LexisNexis, but they definitely, I've seen public records, like, you know, of course, bankruptcies and stuff like that. I've seen like professional licenses, rental history. So like they're a lightweight LexisNexis, honestly. So just pull them. It's free. Pull the reports. Everyone on here, make sure y'all pull y'all third-party reports, because you never know what's on there. Like, y'all know the whole story about when I pulled my Clue Auto report. They had an accident reporting on there that I've never been. Well, I was in the car, but I wasn't the driver. Like, I was a passenger in the car. They had that reporting on Clue Auto, which is owned by LexisNexis, that I was the driver. I was at fault, which was causing my car insurance to go up. And then when I got that removed, my car insurance literally went in half. It literally decreased to half of what I was paying. So make sure y'all just pull all of the reports. Not all of them will have, you know, bad information, misinformation, or derogatory information on you, but you want to be able to see it, and it's free. Again and again, I must keep saying it. It is free, and you want to always know what is being reported on you. And let me see. Is there any way? Yeah, I'm on YouTube right now. I'm actually live on YouTube right now. I asked for an early exclusion today. They fall off in December and February. They told me they have to submit a dispute in order for it to be removed, and it could take 30 days. Is that correct? No, you should have hung up and dialed another rep. They're so you should have asked them what are they disputing? Because what you don't want is them. Excuse me. What you don't want is them to try to make it seem like you're disputing the account. That's not what you're doing. I would not allow them to do that. Did you go through with it? You should have just hung up and called another rep, because some reps will offer, because again, it's one of those things that's like, it's a courtesy thing. They can do it. Sometimes they do it, but sometimes either some reps don't even know what you're talking about sometimes, and then some just, you know, take their job too seriously. What is a third-party consumer report? So outside of the big three, which is like TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, there are other reporting agencies that report particular information on us to creditors, to collection agencies, to businesses, to the credit bureaus. And it's literally just different reports. So you know how TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, which I call them the big three, you know how they have our credit reports. These other companies will have other reports, like Clue Auto is your driver's report. So it's like your driver's history. LexisNexis is one of the main third-party agencies, and they have so much information. Like, if you guys don't pull any report, make sure you pull LexisNexis, because they are the pinnacle of housing information on you. From the time that you were 18, they probably have email addresses that you were associated with. I'm sure they have every address. When I first put my LexisNexis report, it was over 100 pages. Like, LexisNexis is probably going to be longer than your actual credit reports. Just so much information. And it's kind of like the pinnacle of where companies will go if they are wanting to find you, if they're wanting to skip trace you, if they're wanting to see if you may qualify for their credit card, if they want to see where you work so that they can see if they can garnish you and things of that nature. Like, LexisNexis keeps everything from bankruptcies, driver's history, like I said, there are third-party companies that literally just keep track of all of the prescriptions that you've ever picked up. like Millie Man. They keep track of all of your drug prescriptions that you've picked up from like, you know, Walgreens, CVS, and then like when you file for life insurance or health insurance, they pull those reports so that they can see what you've been diagnosed with, what medicine you're on, so that they can properly determine like how much of a risk you are. So there are so many different ones, but LexisNexis is the main one. If your health insurance or, well, you know what, let me just pull up the list because I be trying to go off the dang. Hold on, y'all in the way. Y'all in the way. Let me pull it up. Because there are so many. Oh shit. My bad, y'all. Stay. There are so many. Okay. So damn, there's not even the one. Hold on. I gotta pull up the other one. Oh, I swear it's like every time I want this particular document, it's not open. And then I gotta go search it. Hold on. Hold on. Is this it? This it. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to find something. It's not the real one that I wanted. I can do this one, but it's not the real. Okay. Can you sue a medical company for selling my debt and running my credit? No, unfortunately, medical collections are totally legal now. The information that they share and how they share the information, there are like rules around that. But like just having a medical collection, there's nothing illegal about that. Okay, so back to the third party. Hold on, I'm trying to split my screen so I can see the page as well. Yeah, okay. So what I was saying is these third-party entities, right? They keep information on you. So I'm just gonna give you real life examples of like how these agencies affect you in a big way. And most people don't even literally realize that they're even there. So when you are applying, when you are applying for car insurance, property insurance, or anything like that, companies, in addition to pulling your credit report to kind of see like what's your financial situation, they will also pull a third party report to see your history as it pertains to driving. So if like I said, if your car insurance is high, pull your Clue Auto report. I cannot stress that enough. Pull your Clue Auto report. It literally cut my insurance in half and so many other people as well. But pull your Clue Auto report to see what they're reporting. Any driver's history over 7 years old needs to be deleted. They are notorious for keeping that information on file for 10 plus years. And just so you guys know, the FCRA limits how long they can keep certain information, which is 7 years, unless it's a judgment or a Chapter 13 bankruptcy, right? So they always have outdated information, and you need to clean it. And unless you actually go and pull your LexisNexis report to challenge it, then it'll just stay there. LexisNexis owns Clue Auto, so when you call LexisNexis or go to their website, they'll likely send you your LexisNexis report as well as your Clue Auto report, right? And then if you are like, let's say you can't get a bank account. You know how some people cannot get a bank account, maybe the issues in the past, maybe fraud, whatever the case may be. What the report that they're pulling and that you have access to and that you can challenge is early warning systems. They have Certegy. They have I'm missing one. So they have early warning systems, Certegy, and check systems. So if you can't get a bank account, you find every time you apply for a bank account or even a credit card, because nowadays a lot of credit card companies are denying you credit cards if you are in early warning systems or check systems. So mind you, all of these reports are free. So you can call these companies or even go to their websites and request your report. If you cannot get a bank account, like I said, it's check systems, Certegy, as well as early warning systems. Yeah. For car insurance, it's Clue Auto and LexisNexis. So no matter what you are trying to accomplish, LexisNexis is going to be a part of everyone, right? Even if I don't keep saying it, understand that LexisNexis is the top dog. And whatever the other companies have, LexisNexis likely has. So you just want to get in the habit of already pulling your LexisNexis report anyway. So yeah, LexisNexis is included, even if I don't keep saying it. But let's say have y'all ever been denied a background? Have y'all ever been denied an apartment or a job due to your background report? If that is the case, those reports that your job or your apartment will pull, accurate background, y'all know I talk country, so I hope y'all can hear the names that I'm saying. Accurate background, and then First Advantage Corporation, or you could just say FAC report. Those are going to be the biggest ones when it comes to background checks for employers, and most employers, and then apartments, right? Now, if you have ever had an eviction, if you've ever had a bad rapport with a old rental, whether that's you leaving damage on them people's carpets, whether you didn't messed up their walls, whether you didn't trash the place, you don't have to literally have gotten evicted for you to need to pull these reports, because these reports are considered your tenant screening reports, meaning when you go and apply for an apartment or you go and apply for a home, they pull these reports in addition to your credit report so that they can see your tenant history. Because if they just pull your credit report, they won't see anything as it pertains to your tenant history. That doesn't give them a full picture. So what a lot of leasing agents will do is pull these tenant reports as well to see how many times you were late. Did you leave a balance? Were there any complaints? Like, so much information is stored about you that companies utilize on a day-to-day. So anyways, for tenant screening or evictions, you want to pull your CIC report, which stands for Contemporary Information Corp, CIC. And then you want to pull CoreLogic Rental Solutions, or you can just search CoreLogic. Those are the main two. And obviously, like I said, LexisNexis is always included. Even if I don't keep remembering to say them, always pull LexisNexis. But those are the main two when it comes to evictions. Wait, let me see which other ones did I. Oh, this is an important one. And this one, everyone needs to pull this one as well. So there's a company called, their abbreviation stands for NIC2, which is National Consumer Telecommunications and Utilities, right? Why are they important? So, when it comes to our utility bills that we pay monthly, if you have had to pay a security deposit for a utility bill for electric, gas, water, whatever the hell other utilities I'm missing, but if you've had to ever pay a deposit, it was because more than likely you had some record in this particular report, your NIC2 report, that would justify the company charging you a security deposit. The reason being is because security deposits on necessary items in utilities like water, gas, I think they include water, gas, and electric. So not like cable and stuff, but water, gas, and electric, those, you have to have those. Like, it's not like we have a choice in order to have them or not. You have to have those. So if you are being charged a security deposit, in order for them to legally charge you a security deposit for a necessity, is if they justify why they need to charge you that, right? So this company, NIC2, was started so that they can literally share information with one another of anytime you were late paying your bill, your electric bill. Imagine how many times we were late paying our electric bill. I know, for me personally, that bill, it is going to get paid. But at some point in my life, it was just like, whatever, it's going to get paid. However, I didn't know that it was affecting me. So pull these reports and make sure y'all dispute if they have anything about a bill on that report, you can dispute that legally, because that's not supposed to be there. Now, what they can do is, if your utility account went into collection and you closed the account and there was still a balance on the account, they are able to legally place that on your NIC2 report. But if you were just late, like a casual late, and you got caught back up, they are not supposed to report that. Yeah, I had 27. Maybe it was more than 27, but it was over 20 entries of March of 2014. She was late. So dispute all of that so that you can avoid having to pay security deposits for utilities. Oh, I'm sorry. It's called NIC2. Well, just type in NCTU, NIC2. But it's National Consumer Telecommunications and Utilities. That's what it's abbreviated for. That's what it stands for. Yeah, NCTU. as in Nancy, C as in car, T as in Tom, and U as in utilities. So Nick2. Nick2. I need my eyeshadow. Oh, yeah. Damn. On YouTube, I could have been sharing a screen with y'all. I be forgetting. Hold on. I be forgetting. Let me see something. I'm gonna try to turn the screen and show y'all. Hold on. But y'all keep asking the names. And y'all know I talk country, so when I be saying this, I know y'all don't be like catching it all the way. I be trying so hard. I be concentrating on saying some of these words because I'm not used to pronouncing them like that. Yeah, Nictue, Nctue. What am I looking for? Is this it? Please, please. No, it's not. Y'all want me to go down the list again? Because I see the... Okay, I'm going to do it again. Y'all said I was going too fast. Y'all said I was going too fast. So I'm just going to literally... What I'm going to do is... Why don't y'all just start screen recording? Like, if your phone can screen record, just start screen recording. Because I want to just, like, go straight through it. But I'm just going to go down the list and tell you which... Like, I'm going to name a company and I'm going to tell you, you know, when you should pull it or why you should pull it. We all on the same page before I get started? Okay. And by the way, any of the names that I say, you can go to their website, just Google it. Like the name it'll come up. It's these are national companies. I don't know the website off the top of my head, so I'm just gonna say the companies, okay, y'all? But just Google. We have Google. Okay, so hold on, because I feel like I should group them so it can make sense. Okay, yeah. So this is what I'm gonna do. Okay, look, I see your question. I'm just gonna go down the list. So just to make it easy. So if you cannot get a bank account, or cash a check at Target, Walmart, whatever, if they turn you down for those services, that means that you have a bad record in one of the following reports. So that means you need to pull these reports. They are all free. Every company that we're going to talk about today, it's free to pull your report. And then we're going to talk about how you should dispute them at the end. But let me get through the list first. So, my door. So if you cannot get a bank account, or you having trouble getting credit cards, even though you qualify for them, you're having trouble getting credit cards, pull these three reports: early warning systems, Certegy, which is spelled Certegi, Telecheck, and Crosscheck. Okay, pull them if you're having troubles getting a bank account. If you have any public record on your credit report, whether that is an eviction, a bankruptcy, child support, tax liens, judgments, foreclosure, if I'm missing another name, y'all get where I'm going. If it's a public record and you want to have a chance at getting it deleted from your credit report, you have to start with first getting it deleted from the third-party entities that supply the information to the credit reports, right? So if you have public records, you need to pull the following reports: LexisNexis, Innovis. Innovis is spelled Innovis. You also need to pull SageStream. SageStream was acquired by LexisNexis, so that may come with your LexisNexis report when you order it. But I just wanted to say their name so you know what you would be looking for. And CoreLogic. Okay, so those four for public records: bankruptcies, child support, tax liens, any public record if it's on your credit report. If you want to check your tenant history, or you have had an eviction in the past, or some sort of bad record when it comes to renting, whether that's you being late, you leaving a balance, you leaving damage to the property, whatever the case may be, you paying late, aka if you are actively renting, there's no reason why you shouldn't pull these reports. They're free. So just pull them, just so you can see your rental history. You're going to want to pull CIC, which stands for Contemporary Information Corp. You want to pull that report. You also want to pull CoreLogic Rental Solution. CoreLogic Rental Solution. You also want to pull Experian Rent Bureau. Experian Rent Bureau. And of course, like I said, LexisNexis. And like I said, LexisNexis, and make sure I'm not missing any. Okay, yeah. Also, guys, when I forgot one for public records, I just realized it. ARS. So in addition to LexisNexis, CoreLogic, SageStream, and Novus, also pull your ARS report if you have a bankruptcy or any other public record. The reports are focused on if you are having issues with paying just high car insurance. Clue Auto. Now, again, they are owned by LexisNexis, so they may already send you that when you ask for your LexisNexis report. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So if they don't send it, make sure you call back to specify that you want your Clue Auto report. They cannot charge you guys for these reports. They have to send it to you within 7 to 10 business days. So it's not an option. You just have to be proactive and call and request. I feel like I'm missing another category. If you everyone, because if you ever are trying to get health insurance or life insurance, if your parents are getting health insurance, life insurance, whatever the case may be, make sure you guys pull the Millie Man report, literally how it sounds. It's spelled Millie Man, and then also pull their MIB report. MIB. So pull Millie Man and MIB if for health insurance, for all of your health records or prescription drug history. What I would definitely suggest that you guys do is when you pull, especially when it comes to any person over 25, really anybody, but the reason why I said that any person over 25 is because years and years ago they were really sloppy with the records that they kept, and a lot of times there is prescriptions and medicines and drugs that are within like our parents' histories that they're literally being denied health insurance for. They're paying higher health insurance or life insurance for. So that's why I said make sure if it's your parents and if they are a minority, because this was notorious in the minority community where they didn't have electronic record keeping. It was done by paper. So make sure, I cannot stress this enough, if your parents, especially if you Black or a minority, pull their Millie Man report. It is free. Pull their Millie Man report and pull their MIB report, please. And they probably already have life insurance, I'm sure, but even if they don't, before you apply for life insurance, you're going to want to do this, because the first thing that they're going to do when you apply for life insurance or even health insurance is they're going to pull your Millie Man report or your MIB report or both. So make sure those records are an accurate reflection of the health of the person. Make sure it's like, I'm talking down to what I personally had to do with my own mom is she used to be prescribed this medicine, this drug. I forgot the name, but it's notoriously known and used for diet for it was some high blood pressure medicine. I'm sorry, some high blood pressure medicine. So she's never officially been diagnosed with high blood pressure and diabetes, I believe. But when we were going to get her life insurance, we had 2 companies deny her because within her drug prescription history, it looked like she was a lot sicker than she actually was, unfortunately. So being that she was never officially diagnosed with either of those things, I had every drug that was in association or related to any of those, I guess, diseases, they are considered diseases removed, because again, health insurance and life insurance, they either will deny you or you'll have to pay a higher premium. Go clean their records. Please go clean their records. That's all I'm gonna say. And again, if you are freaking Black, I need y'all to do this for y'all parents, because my goodness, you will not You will not begin to believe the things that they have in those reports, the how neglectful the medical providers were, just prescribing anything. They don't take us serious or our pain serious. So sometimes they literally be diagnosing us with things, and it's like we don't even have that. But that was it still happens today, but not as much as it used to back in the day. So again, pull the Millie Man report, NMIB. Well, Nick too. So if you have ever had to pay a deposit for utility bills, utility accounts, pull your NICTU report, NCTUE report, and see what they have reporting. So for me, they had a lot of basically missed payments reporting. They had something happened where I think my water, I had a leak or something, and my water bill like skyrocketed. I remember it had went like maybe 5 or 6 times the normal amount because I had a leak that I didn't know of. It was outside. And they had that in there, and I'm just like, what the hell? So I think that's all the ones that I kind of wanted to point out. Let me see. Yes. What report would I need to pull when buying a home? So LexisNexis for sure, but not. So these don't necessarily have a direct impact on home buying because they all in your business elsewhere. But this is more so for like other scenarios. But you definitely should pull your LexisNexis just like anyone should, because that's like the main one. And if you're having issues with getting something deleted from the credit bureaus, the first thing you want to do is see if LexisNexis is also reporting that, because they're also a source for the credit bureaus. Can I repeat the acronyms? Yeah, NCTUE, or is NICTU, if that'll help you remember. NICTU, NCTUE. And yeah, you could just Google it. I know LexisNexis website is LexisNexis, I want to say .com. Most of them probably is super simple like that, but just Google it. There's only one credit bureau? No, there's not. There's three main credit bureaus. So there's 3 credit bureaus that assign you a credit score, which is TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. However, the companies that I was just naming, those are considered reporting agencies. Because while they don't assign you a credit score, they still generate a report on you. Well, collect information from outside sources to generate a report on you, and then also sell that report or distribute that report to other companies and people of interest. So yes, they don't assign you a credit score, which is why they're not considered a credit bureau. However, they come into play for a lot of credit decisions. Like I said, like if you're renting, yeah, they'll pull your real credit report, but they'll also pull your rental history reports, CoreLogic and all of that. Yeah, I'll do a TikTok on it. Yep. I don't know why I haven't. That's crazy now that you said that. Yeah, I certainly will. Y'all better listen. I literally did this 2 months ago in my car insurance. Oh, your car insurance went down $179. How much was your car insurance? Sheesh. Damn, you was paying. So if it went down 179, you probably still got 100 left. So you was how much I pay for car insurance? Cause oh my God. But I'm happy for you. I'm very happy for you. If your car insurance went down 179, but when I tell you guys, I hear that story so much. Like so many people message me daily saying how they clean, a certain report and they help them do this. Like I had a lady the other day where she couldn't figure out why she was not getting approved for her, it was I guess an apartment. And because when she looked on her credit report, there was no eviction. I think she said she didn't remember getting evicted. I don't know, whatever. However, when I told her about, no, they don't look at your credit reports for evictions. These are the reports that they look to. She pulled that, she cleaned them, and she literally just got approved. She emailed me what I want to say yesterday. She just got approved. This is her first approval in over 4 years of her trying to apply for apartments. And she couldn't understand why. Her credit score was good. her credit score qualified. She had the income to qualify, and she didn't know why she was getting denied. So yeah. How to clean an eviction to get an apartment. So yeah, what I just said. So the first step to cleaning an eviction, and I have a detailed video on YouTube that'll actually show you the letters that you need to send, tell you the steps, and give you way more details than I'm about to give you. But the first step to disputing an eviction is first pulling your tenant history reports, because you want to first figure out who is supplying that information to the credit bureaus. The credit bureaus are not going to the apartment complex. They're not going to the courthouse to get this information. What they're doing is sourcing that job to LexisNexis and other small entities and just paying them for it. So that's literally how these third-party entities are making a living. But to dispute an eviction, you need to first pull your LexisNexis report, your CoreLogic rental solutions report, your CIC report, and look within those reports. When I say pull, that means you need to call the company and request for your report to be sent to you, or you can go to some of them, you can go to their website and just fill out the applications for them to mail it to you. When I say pull, that means obtain your report. And when you get your report, you need to go through it to see what they are reporting on you. Now, not all information is going to be bad. Like, it's going to be some stuff where, like, you just like, okay, what do I do with this? You don't have to dispute everything, but there is certain information that obviously will make you look bad to other companies depending on what it is. So if you have an eviction on there, you're going to want to challenge the eviction. And when I say challenge, that's just forcing the companies to validate the account the same as the credit bureaus. They also have to abide by the FCRA laws because they are under them and considered an entity regarded by the FCRA. So the FCRA gives us the right as a consumer to dispute or challenge any information on any report, any public report on us, for validation. So even if the information is true, or even if you was evicted, or whatever the case may be, if they cannot properly validate it with sourceful information, then they have to delete it. LexisNexis and these third-party entities are much easier to challenge than the credit bureaus. One, you're dealing with a human, more than likely. Two, they get way less letters than the credit bureaus, and it's just typically way easier to dispute with them. So pull those reports, dispute with them first, and then after you get the entry removed from them, challenge it with the credit bureaus, because again, these companies are the source for the credit bureaus. That's who they go to. That's how they verify their information. So if you can get whatever they're saying is already verified, deleted from their source, then now you have a legal way to invalidate them. Now you can say, okay, well, you said that LexisNexis was your source of my bankruptcy. You said that you used LexisNexis to verify my bankruptcy. Well, here's a letter directly from LexisNexis stating that they couldn't validate it themselves, which is why they chose to remove the bankruptcy from my LexisNexis report. So now your source is now considered legally invalidated. So unless you can provide another source or other substantiated information, then you have to legally delete this from my credit report. So I said a lot. Hopefully you're understanding what I'm saying, but yeah, that's the main thing. Make sure these companies are who the credit bureaus are getting their information from. So you want to go straight to the source, dispute with them. When people tell you just suppress it, just freeze those records, don't listen, because number one, that's not gonna really help you in the end. Because let's say you're trying to rent an apartment and you have your CoreLogic rental solutions report frozen. The first thing that's going to happen is your leasing agent is going to say, hey, we couldn't access this report. Can you unlock it? Or they'll just straight out deny you because you had it locked. So either way, you're not really solving the issue. It's much better and easier to just get it deleted so that you don't have to worry about it like coming up, or don't have to worry about like suppressing it. Just get it deleted. It's super easy, I promise. Now, there are other reasons that you can freeze these reports if you would like to. Like if you don't want to be solicited for like offers, credit offers and stuff like that, then you can decide to suppress these credit or these reports. Let me see. I have a question. Is SageStream and LexisNexis the same in Creditco and CoreLogic? Yes. So LexisNexis did acquire SageStream. So when you request your LexisNexis report, sometimes they will go ahead and include your SageStream report, as well as Creditco and CoreLogic are under the same umbrella as well. Oh, what question? If you dispute LexisNexis, do you have to dispute the big three as well? Yes, because they're all separate entities. They're all different. They're all different companies. Do LexisNexis first if it's a public record. The only time like you don't have to dispute these reports first before you're like disputing maybe a collection increase or something like that. You don't have to do that. But let's say you're having issues with getting personal information removed from your credit report. A lot of times they're validating the information directly from LexisNexis. Like they are notorious for personal information. Literally, if a collection agency can't find someone, like they can't locate where you live, they can't connect to you via phone or whatever, and they're not having luck, the first thing they're going to do is go to LexisNexis to skip trace, which is just to literally figure out where you are based on the employers that's reporting, because they have your employers, they have your schools, your professional licenses, they have driver's history, they have I'm missing so much, but like when I tell you guys, they have so much information on you, so much information. They have insurance records. They have, oh, that's another thing that I was forgetting to tell you guys. When it comes to your Clue Auto report, a lot of things that will cause your car insurance to increase is because they see lapses in coverage, right? If they have any lapse in coverage that's reporting on your LexisNexis or on your Clue Auto report, because they will challenge that. Because technically speaking, just because you did not report and tell them who you had car insurance through, hold on, my alarm. Because technically speaking, even if you did, dang, why the phone doing that? Can y'all still hear me on Instagram? Hold on, because I know I'm gonna have to repeat it, so I'm trying to just say it at once. Freak. I don't even know what I was talking about now. That just blew me. Oh yeah. So if you have any lapse in coverage that's reporting on your Clue Auto report, challenge that, because what I was saying is, technically speaking, just because you did not supply them that information, that does not mean without zero doubt that you did not have car insurance. So because they cannot prove that wholeheartedly, if you challenge that, it's really easy to get those deleted. That's all it glitched. Can y'all hear me now though? Yeah, so that's what I was saying. Any lapses in coverage, because it'll literally report like she had Progressive from this month to this month, and then for 4 months basically they won't be reporting a car insurance company, and then maybe you picked up 6 months later, whatever the case may be. They don't know that for certain. They don't. It's literally just an educated guess. It's probably a good ass guess, because I'm sure they have a system where they can see all of the companies or whatever, but still that don't matter, because legally speaking, they cannot prove that without 100% shadow of a doubt. They can't dispute that. Oh, it's lagging. Y'all gonna have to come over to TikTok or YouTube, because it was my phone alarm. It went off and I cut it off, and for some reason it did that. But Instagram always does that. LexisNexis is the largest third-party reporting agency. Right. Car insurance premiums. If your job deals with driving and they have to check your driver's history, like truck drivers and whatever, it's a lot of occupations that require a clean driver's history. If you are getting denied employment for your driver's history, pull your driver history report and challenge everything. I'm not saying that you're going to get everything deleted, because some stuff they probably are going to be able to validate. But 9 times out of 10, you're going to get something deleted. So if you, like I said, if you don't have a great driver's history or driver record, you need to absolutely pull your Clue Auto report. So what if they ask for proof of coverage then? So you don't technically have to supply that to Clue Auto, to LexisNexis. That's like the burden of proof is on them. Now, if you were in a court, like let's say you were in court, you were in litigation, that's when you would be legally required to submit those records. But you don't have to give LexisNexis the answer to a question that they don't know the answer to. Just like when it comes to the credit bureaus, let's say you do know that a collection is your account. You never deny ownership of an account when you are challenging something. That's just an easy way for them to verify the information and validate the account. That's not the way to do it. But when you are challenging items on your credit report, number one is you don't want to tell them what you already know is wrong or think is wrong. Like, let's say the balance is wrong. You don't go out and supply that information to them. You allow them to do their job, because the FCRA states that the burden of proof is on the furnisher of the debt. That's not you. That's you doing their job for them. They cannot legally require you to submit to them your card records so they can sell your information. You know what I mean? So absolutely not. Stand your ground. Let me see. They did that so many times on my report. What should I put in the letter? What you talking about? The lapses in coverage, or what I was just saying? And I'll be forgetting what I said 2 seconds after I say it. How do we pull our credit reports? Well, to pull your credit reports, you would go to annualcreditreport.com, and then you can get all 3 of your credit reports for free. You just have to verify your identity. Highly suggest that, by the way. If I didn't already say that, I can't remember if I did. But if you guys have not seen your official credit reports, I'm not talking about you having Credit Karma or you having any other credit monitoring app. If you have not seen your official credit reports, that is the first step to ever even trying to repair your credit. You need your real credit report. There is so much information on your actual credit reports than it is on these online monitoring sites. Even if you're looking directly from Experian or whatever the case may be, they still limit the information. So if you want to see unfiltered everything that's on your credit report, which also provides you more leverage to challenge certain information on your credit report, you need your credit report. You need your credit report. It's free. It's no excuse why nobody can't get it. Even if you can't verify your identity online, you can request that they mail it to you. So it's literally no excuse why you guys would not have your credit reports. It is free. All you got to do is go to annualcreditreport.com. Child, my lips dry. Hold on. Can an old creditor sue you after the statute of limitations? No. If the statute of limitations are expired, then you cannot be sued. They can still collect on the debt. They can still pursue you, just not legally. They'll still send you letters, but at the bottom of the letter, if you're outside of the statute of limitations, it's going to say, we can't, and obviously in other words, but it'll say like, we cannot sue you for this, but we are, wanting to collect on this debt. So if it's the statute of limitations has expired, no, they cannot sue you. Let's see. Clue Auto is owned by LexisNexis. So if you call LexisNexis, they probably are going to send that anyway. I'm trying to see if I'm missing any of these bureaus that's worth mentioning. What I will say, for retail cards, like for, let's say, Old Navy, retail cards, as well as like cell phone companies, Sprint, T-Mobile, paying a deposit with them, they heavily rely on SageStream. Their system heavily relies on SageStream to determine if you have to pay a deposit. You know how you have to pay a deposit for your phone line and stuff like that. If you have issues with that, pull your SageStream report. They're owned by LexisNexis, so you may have to call LexisNexis directly. But pull your SageStream report and clean their report, because chances are that report is what's causing you to have to pay a deposit. How to get Amex from reporting charge off every month? Has it surpassed at least 180 days from when the account was charged off? At least 6 months? I think so. Will loans charge off as bad debt fall off after 7 years? Yeah. So any derogatory account has a reporting time or reporting limit of 7 years from the date of first delinquency. So from when the account was defaulted, when the account went into collection or went into a charged off status, that month you have to count 7 years from that date to determine how long that account can legally report on your credit report. A lot of people get it confused with when the account was open. So they'll be like, I had that card 7 years ago. Why is it still on my credit report? That date starts from when the account defaulted or closed. So yeah, 7 years from the date of first delinquency. Yes, Sage Stream. SAGE and then stream. Stream. Oh, somebody said they thought I said stream. See what I mean? Stream. Let me see. Can you speak on federal tax collections? Got a collection notice. What should I do? Like, I can't. I'm not the person to speak to on that because I'm not sure. Is it? Make sure it's legit. I don't do they. Child, I don't know. I'm not even gonna hold you. I don't know. That's not my lane. I'm trying to see because I feel like I'm missing some that are probably important. Did I said background checks, right? For apartments and employers, those are accurate background in FAC, First Advantage Corporation. Is the date of first delinquency the same as the DOLA date? It could be, but is most of the time it's not always because the date of first delinquency cannot change. So even if it was sold to a collection agency and then they sold it 5 other times, the date of first delinquency cannot change. However, the date of last activity can change. The date of last activity, or I'm just going to say DOLA, the DOLA date determines your statute of limitations. So how long they can legally pursue you, how long they can sue you. That varies by your state. So whatever state you're in, that will determine how long debt remains within the statute of limitations. However, the date of first delinquency can't change, and that determines how long that account can legally report on your credit report after it has defaulted or closed. No, open accounts does not have a date of first delinquency because it's still open. So an open account can be on your credit report for life. Like you can have a credit card for 50 years, and if it's still open, it'll still be on your credit report. However, the date of first delinquency, it has to be delinquent because it's the date of first delinquency. So it's for delinquent accounts. The background check, fact, First Advantage Corporation, as well as accurate background. Do you have info on how to raise your mortgage scores? Of course I do. That is my specialty. Well, it's a lot of things. Let me put my bad. Yeah, when I do that, I'll be trying to look at my computer because the phones and iPads and stuff like that are in front. What I'm looking for. What am I looking for? I forgot what I just opened it for. Thank you. I have a Sprint bill. I sent them a debt validation letter in email in June, and they emailed me in August. What should I do? What did they email you? You left out the most important information. What they email you? What the freak was I finna pull up? I know I was finna pull up something. Oh, yeah, that's what. You right. Y'all right. See? What would I be without y'all? Y'all keep me on point. Damn, it's a freaking... Hold on, y'all. Let me pull it to this screen. My bad. I'm gonna answer your mortgage question just really quick. I am doing a mortgage webinar soon, so this is free information. Let me pull it up though. Why were you looking for something you can't ever find it? Hold on. I'm just gonna have to go off the top of my head, which I hate that because I always forget something. Okay, right here. Y'all so patient. I love it. Thank y'all. Y'all don't be rushing me or nothing. That's why I F with y'all. It be the vibe. Okay. Dang, why I put it on this screen like I could see it? Ugh. I hate looking to the side. Okay. All right. So preparing for mortgage scores. I ain't gonna do the whole thing because I don't even feel like doing all that talking. I'm low-key getting sleepy. So to increase your mortgage scores, this is what you can do. And you need to do the best practice is to start this at least 4 months before you are trying to get pre-approved and within the home process, or if you're already within the process, you can do some of these, but some of them will be more beneficial if you do it before the application, right? Number one, if you have more than 3 credit cards, or if you have at least 3 credit cards, you are going to want to do the AZO method, which stands for all zero except one. That means that you need to zero out the balances on all of your credit cards, all zero out the balance except one. This is what you need to do at least 30 days before you apply for your mortgage, whether that is a pre-approval or whatever, or even closing. This will specifically increase your mortgage scores because mortgage scores count utilization on an individual card basis. Mortgage scores are FICO scores 2, 4, and 5. The most recent version of FICO is FICO 10. So FICO's versions 2, 4, and 5 were out. They're outdated versions. They were 98, 2002, 94. So they're outdated versions of our current credit score. So I'm saying that because some of the things or that impact that is not, it won't impact your FICO 8 score or your FICO 9 score or your FICO 10 score. It's specifically for mortgages. Our FICO 8 score and 10, they calculate utilization all together. So they combine all of your cards, limits, and then your overall utilization. But mortgage scores counts them individually. So if you do the AZO method at least 30 days before you apply, it's going to cause your mortgage scores to increase. So that way you will be getting most, if not all, of the points that's available to you for credit utilization. So again, zero out all of your cards except one. Unfortunately, it does not work unless you have at least 3 credit cards. If you have 2, you still are going to want to report a very low utilization, but this method specifically will increase your mortgage scores if you have at least 3 credit cards. Another thing that you can do is if you have any loans that are any installments or loans, whether that's short-term or long-term, if you pay them down, if you pay at least 90% of them off, so if the balance is under 10% remaining, that also causes your mortgage scores to increase as well. You're rewarded for that. Any accounts that you have opened within the last 18 months, you can expect every single 3 months that those accounts mature or age, you can expect to see your mortgage scores increase because they reward you for aging accounts. So the best case scenario before applying for a mortgage, if you have enough time, is to not open anything at least 18 months in advance. I know that sounds like a long time of time. I know a lot of you guys are already like well within that time, and that's okay. But like I said, if like the most beneficial place is always at least 18 months from an open account when it comes to your mortgage scores. But if you are within the 18 months, let's say you opened up a credit card 3 months ago, you know that, let's say your lender says, hey, you need 20 points. You can expect pretty much to get a few points for that account every single time it ages at least 3 months. Every single time that it ages at least 3 months. What else should I say? Oh, increase. The increase that weigh more heavily on your mortgage scores are credit card increase. So if you have installment increase, if you were applying for any loans, whether that's your home loan, car loan, if you have a 20 or 30 car increase, those don't affect your mortgage score. However, credit card increase does. When you have a lot of installment increase, it's pretty much kind of like just seen as you're rate shopping, like that's considered smart, like they don't mind that. But when you are applying for different credit cards, especially within a short period of time, you just appear desperate. You appear like you need some money. And obviously, if you are getting a mortgage, they don't want anyone that they feel like they need money, so those are some of the things that will affect your mortgage scores, but won't necessarily affect like your FICO 8 score or any other version of your FICO score. If your profile is under 4 account, like if you have less than 4 accounts on your profile, whether that's closed or open, your mortgage scores are going to be a lot lower than they could be or could have been if you have 4 accounts, at least 4. Because under 4 accounts, you are being penalized heavily. Your mortgage scores are being penalized heavily. Credit age was just weighted like more important than it is now. Back in the day, it just was weighted more importantly because it wasn't typical for a 18-year-old to have money or whatever. So people who mostly benefited from credit was like 40 plus. So credit age was a big deal back in those days. It was bigger than it is now. So therefore, your accounts and you looking and appearing to be stable means a lot to your credit score. So again, if you don't have at least 4 accounts, you really are considered a beginner borrower, obviously. So your risk score, your risk level will increase in their eyes if you just don't have much experience with building credit. Also, if you have any credit cards that has over 30,000, it's technically speaking like 33,000, I believe, but we'll just say 30,000. If you have any credit cards over $30,000, the limit, it will not be calculated into your mortgage scores. So understand that if you even have $200 reporting on that credit card, even if you have a $30,000 limit, it's going to appear that card is maxed out because it does not, that the system did not calculate limits over $30,000. It just wasn't normal for people to have credit limits over $30,000 back in those days. You know what I mean? So the system did not account for that. So if you have any credit cards over $33,000, you need to make sure that the balance is 0 when you are applying for a mortgage. Also, if you have any American Express charge cards or any other charge cards from other companies, yeah, my mouth dry as hell. My bad, y'all. But anyway, oh my God, it made me want some more ice. Okay. What was I saying? Because y'all know I forgot. If you have, what was I saying? What the? Yeah, I'm too young for my memory to be like this. Like, I'm so serious. And it's getting worse. I really do not. It's like my short-term memory is wrecked. And I don't know what's going on. Excuse me. Charge cards. If you have any American Express charge cards or any charge cards, if your credit card does not report a limit, 0 out that balance. Because again, unlike our current scores, they did not know how to account for cards without limits. Again, it just was not a thing then. It was not typical. Therefore, the scores did not account for that. Make sure that if you have any charge cards or any cards over $30,000, you 0 those out because that balance, even if it's $1, it will count against your mortgage scores. Another thing, understand that mortgage scores, FICOs 2, 4, and 5, consider any utilization over 58% maxed out. That's so important for your mortgage scores. If you have any credit card reporting a utilization over 58%, your mortgage score will heavily penalize you for that, meaning they will take away points, decrease your mortgage scores because the system for some reason or another views 58% as maxed out. It's just how it weighs it. It's just how it weighs it. But for reference, our FICO 8 score, and a lot of people don't realize this, you don't got to get to 100% to be considered maxed out. If you get over 89%, even in your FICO 8, 9, and 10, your card is considered maxed out. So make sure y'all not reporting no maxed out balances over, like I said, if you're applying for a mortgage, over 58%. And then if you are just day-to-day casually, whatever, make sure you don't allow over 89% to report. Mind you, your balance only matters one day a month. I know everybody who's always in the lives, y'all know what I'm going to say. What I mean is make sure by your statement date, your balance is not over 58% of your limit if you are applying for a mortgage, or 89% if you're just, applying for a credit card or whatever the case. It shouldn't be nowhere near that, but we ain't gonna get on it. But again, that is what the system will read as maxed out, meaning like your credit scores will be heavily affected. What else? I'm sure there's a lot that I'm forgetting to mention. Oh, another kind of like small thing is your time since your last late payment. Your mortgage score specifically, if you have a late payment within the last 18 months, we're just gonna say 22 because FICO 2 is 22 and FICO 4 is 20, whatever. So we're just gonna say 22, just all around. If you have late payments within 22 months, your payment history and your mortgage scores are going to be heavily affected. So the best case scenario is to apply for a mortgage when you are at least 22 months from your last late payment. That's kind of like when your mortgage scores are going to be in the best place points wise. This is when you're maxing out or getting very close to maxing out the points that are available to you for your payment history. So yes, within 22 months from a late payment. What else? Oh, mortgage score specifically. You know how you can have a closed account on your credit report right now, and let's say you had a few late payments, and but you paid off the loan, whatever. Your mortgage scores penalize you. So the easiest way to explain this is you have something where they calculate all of your accounts, all of your trade lines that's reported, and then they calculate how many of them have perfect payment history, and then how many of them have late payments. Even if you have one late payment on even a closed account out of 68 payments, that account is immediately stricken against you, right? So let's say you have 10 total accounts within your entire credit history, whether that's all of your current accounts that are open, and then like closed accounts that you have. And so you have 10 accounts, and then let's say 5 of them have at least one late payment. Your grade for that category is going to be 50%. Now, our FICO 8 scores, it does not necessarily calculate it just like the same as that. However, your mortgage scores, it count like basically you want to make sure that you are under 20% of accounts that you have made late payments in, if you can. Now, this is going to be impossible for some, and whatever. This is not going to it's not going to make or break your mortgage scores, because typically speaking, this is like a difference of 7 to 12 points for this particular rating. So again, if you have, all of your accounts, make sure you have more accounts that has perfect payment history, like no late payments, regardless of what the reason was. Then you do, like, make sure you're not like have at least one late payment on all of your accounts. Like, you're being heavily penalized. Let me see. I'm sure it's something else that I am forgetting. Let me see. Oh, this is funny because this is one of the ones that like no one ever thinks of or talk about. So there is something called a denial rating, right? What is this? This means that they look at all of your inquiries, right? And they see if you have an account matching that inquiry within 60 days of that inquiry. So let me explain that a little bit more, because I don't feel like that makes sense. So let's say you applied for Capital One in January, right? And then they see that within 60 days of that inquiry, no Capital One account ended up on your credit report, right? So then that means that you got denied you got denied. They count that against you. So let's say you have multiple inquiries, and then you got denied. Let's say you had 5 inquiries and you were denied for all 5 of those accounts. Now your denial rating is 100%. And I hope I'm not getting too technical with you guys, kind of like some of the behind the scenes of just like the way our scores are calculated. However, denial rating was a thing in mortgage scores, but it's not a thing anymore. So like nowadays, when it comes to FICO 8, 9, or 10, they no longer count that against us if we were denied from, receiving credit. But back then they counted that against you, because it was a lot easier to get approved for credit. So if you were denied, that's real bad, So your denial rating will affect your mortgage score. So why does that matter? That is the only time I say that it's worth it to dispute inquiries. If you are within the mortgage process, dispute the inquiries that you didn't get approved for. Dispute those, because you want it ain't even the amount of inquiries that you have, more so as the amount of denials that you received, which is so crazy. Because again, we're not judged on that anymore. You don't get penalized for that anymore. Let know I'm missing something else. Oh, if you have any retail cards, so any retail cards, this damn, I wish I'm putting in front of a minute. Any retail cards, do not have no balance on those. Do not have no balance on those. And if you do have a balance on any retail cards, you absolutely need to make sure that it's at least under 28%, because that's where it starts to penalize you heavily. But y'all know my whole rule, under 10%, because obviously your mortgage scores are going to benefit more. The reason being, when you are getting a mortgage, or back then when they were getting a mortgage, if someone had balances on retail cards, like obviously shopping cards, they just looked at them like they were irresponsible. How are you trying to purchase a home and you still have debt from shopping? My bad. That's not a necessity, right? So make sure that if you have any retail cards, even if it's Amazon, because unfortunately, in 1994, Amazon wasn't what it was now. So that still will be categorized under retail. It's automatic. It's an automatic thing, right? So even if you have an Amazon credit card, that's considered a retail card. Make sure you don't have no balance on that card, because again, your mortgage scores will be affected. If you are currently in the home buying process, and maybe your lender said you need 20 points, so you need 15 points before you close. These are some of the small things that you can do to kind of like start getting those points. If you have any retail cards, even if they had $1 on them at the time of when you were, pre-approved, that's a clear sign that if you zero out those balances, you're going to get some points from that. What else? I think I hit all of those. Also, if you have, I think I already said this, but if you have more than 4 accounts, you get what's called a thick profile reward, which is just a few more points. However, if you have under 4 accounts, you get the thin profile penalty, which is them decreasing your mortgage scores. So zero out all retail cards. Absolutely. If you are applying for a mortgage, this does not affect your FICO 8, 9, and 10. So, when you are doing this and you don't see your credit score going up, if Credit Karma does not tell you that your credit score is going up, or if you have any other apps other than My FICO or Experian, even if they don't say that your credit score is going up, understand that this is things that specifically apply to your mortgage scores, which are versions FICOs 2, 4, and 5. And they will not affect FICO 8, 9, 10. Honestly, from FICO 6 on, these small things will not affect that much. So don't be looking to see your normal credit score increase from doing some of these small things. Understand that our mortgage scores were calculated in way, way different than what our current credit scores are. So yeah, just wanted to get that out the way, because a lot of people will panic, like, my score is not going up, but then they check their mortgage scores and they'll see, it did increase. What else? See, I didn't even feel like getting all into this. So for mortgage scores specifically, it counts all collections on the same scale. So whether you paid a collection, whether the collection is open, closed, whether the collection was $17, whether the collection was $100, it weighs all collections equally. So if you pay a collection, do not expect your mortgage score to go up, because unfortunately they do not reward you for paying a collection. So again, it's all weighted the same. When it comes to FICO 8, if you have collections on your credit report under $100, those are not actually affecting your FICO 8 score. Yes, it's on your credit report, but they do not penalize you for any collections under $100. Just to compare FICO 8 to the mortgage scores. So yes, mortgage scores, it doesn't matter if the balance is zero, doesn't matter, it's still being counted. So obviously, as I always say, because this is true regardless, don't pay anything unless the collection agency can validate the account. So you need to be requesting validation on every collection. I don't care if you know it's yours. It doesn't matter. If they cannot validate the account, they cannot legally collect on that account. And it's not in what you know or what they know. It's what they can prove, because the burden of proof is on them. That's a whole nother rant, but whatever. This is an important one. If you have any charge-offs that are from collection, so if you have any revolving charge-offs, the balance on those charge-off accounts will be counted and calculated into your utilization for your mortgage scores. So let's say you had, y'all, my mouth getting dry, that blows me. Let's say you have let's say you had a old $100 credit card, just for math purposes. You had an old $100 credit card that was charged off, and the balance is $90. That $90 is going to count and be calculated alongside the rest of your credit limits on your other cards. So you can't do the ASIO method if you have a revolving charge off that still has a balance, because technically speaking, that balance is always going to be included into your utilization automatically. Now, to compare it, FICO 8 scores does not do that. So if you have charge-off balances on revolving accounts, they're no longer calculated into your utilization. But for your mortgage scores, they are calculated. So if you can't figure out why your utilization is not going down, regardless of you paying off your credit cards, your mortgage scores, it's probably because you have a charge-off, a revolving charge-off, which was just a credit card that you used to have and the company charged it off, that still has a balance. So my advice to you is to settle all charge-offs that are on revolving accounts. If you can, before you apply for a mortgage, settle all of your charge-offs, all of your credit card charge-offs. Settle those, because yes, that will affect your mortgage score. That will affect your mortgage score. I know, a whole freaking webinar. Yeah, this I'm doing a from a part of my $10 webinar series. The next one I'm doing is just preparing your mortgage scores, getting your mortgage scores ready. But y'all damn near getting a free class tonight, so y'all ain't even gotta go. But y'all owe me a share. When y'all see me share the post, share it. Keep the energy. Okay. What else? And obviously the webinar is way more detailed than what I'm saying right now. But y'all know how I give it up. Yeah, I know y'all gonna learn something. Let me see. Count. Oh, we already talked about that. Okay, we already talked about that. Next slide. Oh, I don't feel like talking about this because I'm gonna have to turn around the camera. Ooh. Y'all killing me. I don't feel like getting into the thresholds and stuff like that. Okay. Fuck, I don't feel like getting into this. All right, so utilization is so important though. So if you have high utilization, let me tell you a way that you can maximize your mortgage score while you are paying down your credit card. Because if you do it strategically, you can actually attain more points from hitting the threshold. So when it comes to mortgages, and again, the thresholds for your FICO 8 scores are different. So I'll tell y'all that next. But the ones that I'm about to tell you is specifically for FICO 2, 4, and 5. So if you have, so let me just say the thresholds first, and then I'll explain it because it's too much. All right. So the thresholds are over 100%, 88.9%, and it is for specific, 68.9%, 48.9%, 29.9%, 8.9%, and 3.9%. So those are the utilization thresholds. What are utilization thresholds? Let's say you have 92% utilization reporting right now. You can go ahead and go from 92% to 1%. You can just go ahead and pay off your credit card, pay it all the way down, and then reduce your utilization. And of course, your credit scores will increase, because as your utilization decreases, your credit score increases, right? Now, however many points that you got from paying your credit cards totally off in 1 month, you would have gotten more had you kind of staggered your way down. So what I mean by that is, if you have 92% utilization reporting last month, as opposed to just paying it all the way off, if you can wait, go from 92% to the next threshold, which is 68.9%. So you want to get your utilization at least to 67%, so that you can get the little spurt of points that you'll get from reducing that down a class or threshold. And then the next month, you're going to want to go from 67% to under 48.9%. So do y'all get what I'm saying? Let me repeat the thresholds again, just in case y'all didn't catch it. But I'm going to start from the bottom up. So the first threshold for utilization is 3.9%. So anything under 3.9%, you are getting the maximum amount of points that you can get for utilization on your mortgage score. So 3.9%. And then the next threshold is 8.9%. So even if you have 9% utilization, let's say you have 10% utilization and you pay it down to 9% utilization, your credit scores are not going to increase until you get it to under 8.9%. So if you, no matter how much debt you have you ever paid off your credit card and then you didn't get any points from it, and you like, how the heck are they reporting that my utilization decreased, but I didn't get any points? Like, they're literally saying I paid $1,600 on a card, but I didn't get any points. It was because you hadn't met the next threshold in order to receive the reward for lowering your utilization. So if you're still within the same threshold, you don't get rewarded for that. And so you go down a step or a class. So again, the thresholds are 3.9%, 8.9%, 29.9%, 48.9%, 68.9%, 88.9%, and then over 100%. So even if you have 90% utilization, you are still being penalized with the people who have over 100% utilization. Until you get your utilization down to under 88.9%, then your mortgage scores are not going to increase. So if you have high utilization, that's the perfect time to work it and stagger your way down to maximize the points before your mortgage. Now, you may not have that loan. Like if you already at 90% and you don't have at least 1, 2, 3, 4. If you don't have at least 5 months until you are applying for a mortgage, then you can't really stagger it down as effectively. But you can kind of skip some. It's saved. It's gonna be saved on YouTube. Yeah. What's the thresholds for FICO 8? Okay, so FICO 8 is more simpler. So FICO 8 is 5%, 10%, 30%, 50%, 70%, 90%, and then 100+%. So yeah, that's FICO. It's really FICO 8, 9, and 10. Right. It's better to slowly reduce it, but make sure you are reducing it so that you are at least meeting the next threshold. So if you're at let's say you're at 58%, until you reduce your utilization to at least 48.9%, you won't get rewarded for it. So yes, the thresholds are important. Because even if you are, like I said, if the threshold is 68.9% and you're at 70%, oh well, it doesn't. The computer will not count it. Will not count it. What else I can say? Oh, okay. Yes. So that's gonna take a while to explain. Hold on. Again, I don't know if y'all caught this earlier, but any installments that you have, a way that you can strategically kind of like use it to boost your mortgage scores is to pay it down to under 9%. So don't pay it off. But if you can pay it down to under 9%, that's going to increase your mortgage scores. One thing that we used to do, like when I would help people qualify for their home, what we would do is we would literally start them a short-term installment. Now, this is really going to be effective if you're at least 6 months out of buying a home. But start a short-term installment, and then right before you apply for your mortgage, pay that short-term installment down to under 90%. Because short-term installments, their payments are like $25 a month. So you spend $200, $300 and pay it down to under 9%. That's a way to cause your mortgage scores to increase. So we would specifically do that. That's one of kind of like the things that we would do. But like, if you're not at least 6 months out, it's probably not a good idea because your credit age is going to be affected. So you will lose some points in that aspect. From start to finish, look, the video is going to be saved on YouTube. Go to YouTube. I can't. We've been on here. How long have I been on here? Like an hour. Oh, your mortgage scores consider all late payments on the same scale. So whether they are isolated late payments or consecutive late payments, they're all being weighed the same. To compare, FICO 8 if you have isolated late payments, that is going to affect your score less than if you have consecutive late payments. So they penalize you more heavily if it is like a pattern. But if you just have like maybe one late payment on an account that you've had for 2 years or whatever, it's going to affect you, of course, but it's not going to affect you to the degree of if you were to have 2 late payments in a row. But your mortgage scores, it don't matter if you were late 1 year, 3 years ago, and then this year, they all weigh them the same. It weighs them all the same. Let me see. Very important. Self-reported accounts are not calculated into your mortgage score. So Experian Boost, not counted into your mortgage score. You reporting your own rent, not counted into your mortgage score. Rent Karma, not counted into your mortgage score. You reporting your utilities to your credit report, not calculated into your mortgage score. They do not know how to read self-reported accounts. Again, that just was not a thing back then. So it just was not calculated into the score. There's no way for it to affect your mortgage score. So don't waste your money on self-reported accounts or whatever it is. Don't think that that's going to affect your mortgage score, because it is not. But it does affect your FICO. It affects your FICO A score, but like very minimal. I think that's it for that slide. Oh, okay. Well, this is just a small one, but like I said, if you have retail credit cards, or if you have any credit cards, make sure that you have at least one bank card. So just one regular traditional bank card, Visa, MasterCard, that you can use anywhere that's not tied to a specific store or a specific entity, because bank cards are seen as premier, and obviously your mortgage scores like those better. So make sure that you don't just have retail cards. Make sure you don't just have retail cards. Oh. So I think I already said this, but whatever. Make sure you are not applying for anything within 6 months of your mortgage. Heavily will impact your mortgage score, even if you were approved. So if you can, stop applying for anything within 6 months of you purchasing a home. If you can, make sure you are at least 6 months. Also, to get the best results, if you are at least 17 months outside of a new account, 17.5. So let's just say 18 to make it real clear cut. If you are at least 18 months outside or from your last opened account, your mortgage score is going to really like that. So you'll benefit from that. So if you can wait until you are at least 18 months out, it'll be to your benefit. Or let's say what used to happen was, like, let's say someone was about to close on a home. We would try to, as much as we can, delay or whatever their closing until, like, let's say they were at like 15 months and we knew that like in 2 more months the last open trade line would have aged 18 months. That's kind of like another way to boost your mortgage score. So if you know you're going to close maybe in a month or two, if you're building and you're going to close in a few months, you can calculate that, see if you'll get a few more points. Obviously y'all know y'all need to pay your credit cards off by y'all statement date. We already talked about that. Yeah. Did I already told y'all that over 48% utilization is seen as maxed out? I think I said that, right? Did I say that? If I didn't say that, then again, is really 48.9%. So anything over 48.9%, your mortgage score does not like that. So if you have any authorized user accounts, if you can, make sure that they are reporting a $0 balance when you close, if you can help it. I already talked about this. Collections as it pertains to your mortgage scores. Number one, collections does not like automatically stop you from being approved for a mortgage. So don't freak out if you do have collections. Regardless, like I said, of the balance on your collection accounts, yes, your mortgage score will weigh all of them the same. So even if you have paid your collections, it's still a collection. It can never be a satisfied account. It's always going to be considered a derogatory account. Doesn't matter. So even if you paid it, yes, that will still count against you as regards to your mortgage score. No matter what the balance is on the collection, also, it'll still affect you the same. You can have a $2 collection and a $2,000 collection, and they're both literally on the same scale. Make sure, and this is going to be subjective, so it's more so situational because it doesn't apply to everyone, but over 99% of people, I'll say, and always check obviously with your lender, but if you have a collection, do not just go and pay it to in hopes that it'll increase your score. It actually can be to your detriment because it actually can cause a old stagnant account to now become active again. So for those of you who don't know, if an account has not had any reported activity within the last 2.5 years, your mortgage scores just omits them. It just automatically reads it as that's an outdated account. So we're not even going to count that against you. So what y'all be doing is you have a collection over 3 years old, and then y'all go and pay them. And now that collection now has activity because, again, regardless if the activity is that you paid it and now it's updated to 0, doesn't matter because mortgage scores does not care what the balance is on your collection. Now they see this account, this new collection. Because now it looks like you have a new collection. Even if the collection was 3 years old and you paid it after 3 years, now it looks new to your mortgage score. It's looking like this person just got a collection the month that you paid it. Do not pay collections if they're over 3 years old. We can have another conversation about paying them at all. That's for another day. But if it's over 3 years old, what are you paying it for now? It's not going to help you. It's not going to help you at all. It's not even going to help your FICO 8 score anyway. It's going to help your Advantage score. So when Credit Karma say, good job for paying off this collection, here's 12 points, here's 16 points. Credit Karma is not your real score. That's your Advantage score. So the Credit Karma be having you thinking that your score, or you're getting rewarded for a lot of things that like your FICO score is like, yeah, no. So again, stop just going to pay out collections thinking it's solving the issue. That's not how you solve it. So again, if you are going to pay a collection, make sure that you ask for a pay to delete. So if the collection agency agrees to delete the account from your credit report, for you paying it, then that's fine. That's the only time where it's like, okay, go ahead and pay it because they're going to delete it. When you are getting a pay to delete, make sure you write them, get it in writing. You write them a pay to delete letter, which is just saying, hey, I have one on my page because I don't even feel like going through that. But yeah, you send them a pay to delete letter. You can literally Google a pay to delete letter. I have one on all of my social media sites, whatever. Send them that in advance. And then when they reply back in writing and say, yes, we will accept your payment, and we will, delete the account. Not just we will update the account. Not just we will update the credit bureaus and tell them that the account is paid off. No, that's not what you want. You want them to delete it. So if they agree to a pay to delete, then pay it. That's fine. That it'll be deleted from your credit report. Therefore, obviously, it's no longer on or being counted against you. Very important. Just a side note, when it comes to collection agencies, let me tell you how they work. If you go to them, make sure if you're going to settle with a collection agency, if you're going to send a pay to delete, do it before you apply for your mortgage. Why? Why is that important? Simple. When you're mind you, all of your collection agencies, all of your creditors' collection agencies in any active company that you have a credit exchange with, they have full access to your credit report at any given time. At any given time, a collection agency that has an account that belongs to you, they can pull your credit report. Why does that matter? It matters a whole lot. Because if they see inquiries from a mortgage, because obviously it says mortgage, it'll say what type of inquiry it is. When they see that you are applying for a mortgage, less likely to settle with you, less likely to offer you anything, because at that point the ball is in their court. They know that you're trying to get a mortgage. 1 + 1 = 2. If they see that you are applying for mortgages, clearly you are trying to prepare your credit profile to get a mortgage. So they take advantage of that. Now it's so you trying to buy a house? No, we're not accepting. No, we know we told you that we was going to accept 40%. Now you just have to pay us the whole thing. Or we no longer can accept 40%, we can accept 60%. You don't want them to know you are trying to apply for a home. So if you're going to do anything with a collection agency, Make sure it's before you even apply for a home. Because yes, small things like that matter. Yes, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Now they know what state you in if they didn't already. No, don't do that. What else? Okay, I think I touched everything on there. Make sure you're not actively disputing while you are, actually getting your home, applying for your home. Make sure you're at least 3 months from your last dispute. If you're not at least 3 months, you need to make sure you write the credit bureaus a letter requesting that they end all active investigations or they close all active investigations. Unfortunately speaking, that can be legally considered validating the account, so you may not be able to challenge those or have a great chance at challenging them after you do this, but it's not worth your mortgage. So, you can always call them, even if you're actively in an investigation, and you can request that they close all open investigations. Therefore, when your lender pulls your credit report, some lenders won't even allow you to apply if they know you have pending, pending disputes with the credit bureaus. But if they do see it, they're gonna maybe tell you that you can't get it until you close all of your disputes. So make sure that you are at least 3 months from your last dispute, or have asked them to close all of your disputes. That's it for collections. I think. No, my mouth getting dry as hell. Exactly, and voice getting raspy. Y'all know I lose my voice every time I'm on here talking for more than an hour. I just lose my voice. Me over here taking hell of no. By the way, if you wasn't here in the beginning, I am doing an official how to prepare your mortgage scores webinar. I don't know what it's going to be titled, but it's basically preparing you for a mortgage. So if you want to purchase a home soon, you're going to want to come to my webinar. It's a $10 webinar. I haven't even announced it yet. But yeah. Are you having any side effect of your leg? Nope, I'm just sleepy right now though. Okay, yeah, we already touched on that. Charge-offs. Charge-offs are like the worst type of account that you can have on your credit report outside of a public record like a bankruptcy. So it's considered horrible, of course. If you have a charged-off account that has late payments reporting, which most, or if not all, charge-offs have late payments reporting because that's what caused it to be closed and charged off. But you having multiple 30, 60, and 90-day late payments on your mortgage accounts, that of course heavily affect your mortgage score. The more recent your charge-off account is, the heavier the impact is on your mortgage scores. You want to at least be 2 years post charge-off if you can before applying for a mortgage. That's going to, like I said, maximize your mortgage scores. But if you're still within 2 years, that's not saying that you just can't get approved for a mortgage. However, your mortgage scores definitely will benefit if you are at least 2 years post key derogatory, meaning charge off. If you had any other public record, or any other charge off, bankruptcy, public record, or anything. Some lenders, like I said, will just go ahead and omit charge-offs that are over 2 years old. I worked with a lot of lenders that were always willing to overlook charge-offs over 2 years old, especially if they were under $1,500. So ask your lender. Obviously every lender is different. You inquire with your lender about it. Because like I said, if you're over 2 years old, typically speaking, they will go ahead and let that go. Oh, one important thing though, make sure, so when y'all get your credit reports, because obviously that's the first step, is getting your official credit reports. When you get your credit report, make sure that all of your charged off accounts are closed. Make sure they're reporting closed, because technically speaking, yes, we know the account is closed, because in order for a company to even have charged off the account, they would have already had to close the account. But make sure you don't have an open charge off reporting, because that looks like active accounts that you're currently defaulting on or currently late on, which is obviously a major red flag for mortgages. If you're not even up to date on all of your current debt obligations, why would we approve you for a mortgage? So make sure, because a lot of times this happens by mistake when it comes to reporting charge-offs. And sometimes they'll confuse them with collections. Collections can be opened or closed. So with charge-offs, a lot of times they're reporting open and they're not supposed to be reporting open. Make sure your charge-off report closed. If you have a charge-off that's reporting open, you need to write a letter to the credit bureaus and request that they close the charge-off. On a basis of that is a factual error. In order for a company to charge off an account, they would have had to close the account first. So make sure you request all of your charge-offs are closed. And like I said, look on your credit report to see if it's closed. If you have, you know how credit reports have a collection section, like with all of your collections, make sure that no original creditor is reporting. So make sure it doesn't say Capital One. Make sure it doesn't say American Express, right? If they can be on your report for charge-offs, but when it comes to the collection section, that is not a charge-off. So a telltale sign that you have a charge-off reporting as a collection, you typically will see an original creditor in the collection area. So not a collection agency, not ABC Collections, not LVMV, not Midland Funding, not Portfolio Recovery. Those are obviously collection agencies, third-party companies. But if you see direct companies like Capital One, American Express, Discover, no, that means that that's a charged off account that's accidentally reporting as a collection, which, like I said, can be open. You don't want any charge off accounts on your credit report reporting as open because, oh no, my iPad died. They're going to kill me. Who's that? Instagram? Dang, so they ain't even going to say it alive. That's so annoying. I don't even remember it warning me. It probably did. Is that TikTok? Oh, that was TikTok. Okay, I think I can get back on TikTok. Sometimes they let you back on. Hold on, y'all. If y'all learned something like the video, I finally asked for it, y'all. I hate asking for that. Please let me get back on. It's not letting me. Dang, man, that's messed up. Fuck. Okay. I don't even feel like doing it over. Oh, it said resume. Yay. My bad, y'all. My iPad died. And I paused, so y'all didn't even miss anything. Y'all didn't even miss nothing. Oh, yeah. Let me see. I said all those. If you have charge-offs over $1,500, it's probably best to go ahead and settle those. Under $1,500 is definitely dependent on your lender because most of them won't care about that. Sorry, y'all. Yeah, my iPad died. Yeah, $1,500. What else? This is a good one. If you have late payments on your credit report, FHA just pretty much says that you're considered to have an acceptable payment history if you are at least 12 months from your last late payment, right? And this is FHA, meaning like the lenders, the guidelines that the lenders are going under. So if you're getting an FHA loan, if you have at least 12 months of perfect payment history throughout your entire credit report, so no lates on no accounts, your credit, your borrow payment history is considered acceptable to get a home loan. So with that being said, obviously you want to wait till you're at least 12 months post late payment to apply for a mortgage. If you are trying to get a conventional loan, they typically will not accept anything more than one late payment in 12 months. Yeah. So if you're going conventional, they typically will not accept more than one late payment within 12 months. But most lenders will say no late payment. So you just want to try to make sure that you're at least 12 months post late payment before you apply for your mortgage. Never dispute late payments on open accounts directly with the credit bureaus. We know that if you do have an open account, the best thing to do is go directly to the company and ask them for a goodwill adjustment. And it's up to them, is at their discretion, unfortunately. So play nice, be nice, and ask them if they will consider updating your payment history. Capital One is really good with it. Credit One is really good with it, and a lot of other companies. I already said this. So of course, inquiries affect your credit score for 12 months. They do report for 2 months, but it only has impact on your score for 12 months since the inquiry. Um, Mortgage scores, like I said, if you have credit card inquiries, they do weigh that more heavily than installment inquiries. So make sure, try not to have any credit card inquiries within at least 6 months of your mortgage application. Deduplication is a thing in FICO and mortgage scores. So it's a 14-day span. So if you have any mortgage inquiries or any car inquiries, let's say you went to apply for a car, they ran your credit 20 times. As long as they ran it within 14 days, you are only being penalized for one of them for your mortgage score. So if you went to 4 different car lots within the same week and they ran your credit 60 times, don't panic because your mortgage scores are only counting one of those. Because if it's within 14 days and it's a like inquiry, so an auto inquiry, if you're applying for a mortgage, it's a mortgage inquiry. It doesn't affect you. That's why when you are applying for your home, do not feel guilty about going and comparing rates and rate shopping. Your mortgage scores are not going to be penalized for that. Make sure you do it in 14 days though, because it's a lot of people that think that the deduplication period is 45 days because that's what it is for FICO 8. That's what most people are used to. We have, like nowadays, you have 45 days to rate shop. Back then, they only gave you 14 because it was not that many lenders. It wasn't as many banks and stuff like that as it is now. So it wasn't that many options. They did not need that long. 14 days. So even if it's the 15th day, understand that your mortgage scores are going to decrease as a result of that increase. So if you're going to rate shop, do it within 14 days. And you do not have to worry about your mortgage scores decreasing. Rate shop. It's absolutely worth it to rate shop. It does not affect your mortgage scores. If you do it within 14 days, that's very important because even on the 15th day, now you're in a whole new cycle. Now you're in a whole new period. Let me see. I got that. Okay, then we just get into other stuff that's not. Yeah. Yeah. So we already did all that. So to sum it up, the whole thing that I just said, a ideal profile, an ideal credit profile before you apply for a home, like the perfect place that you can make sure that you are getting as many mortgage points as you can, is number one, make sure that you have at least one installment if you can, under 9% remaining. Make sure that you have zeroed out all charge cards, zeroed out any credit card over $30,000 or any retail card, any store card. Zero out all of those to increase your mortgage score. Make sure if you currently have high utilization, to maximize your mortgage scores, pay it down according to the thresholds, so that you can get as many points as you can while you are paying down your credit cards. Also, if you are within a few months of getting a mortgage, a way that you can utilize the thresholds to get a few more points is, let's say you're within 3 or 4 months of purchasing a home, your mortgage scores are not moving, run up one of your credit cards, report a high utilization, and pay it down according to those thresholds, and you can kind of get a few more points than what you currently have. So that's another thing that we would do if they were like 5 points off, 10 points off. If they had at least 2 months, we would just run it up, pay it down strategically. What else? If you are at least 2 years from your last charged off account, and at least 1 year past your last late payment and collection account. If you have any charge-offs that were credit cards, so any revolving charge-offs, pay those off or settle those now, because they're going to be calculated against your utilization on all of your open credit cards. So if you have any credit cards that were charged off and you have not satisfied that account, before you get a mortgage, make sure you settle that, because that is going to be counted against you. Make sure every charged off account on your credit report is reporting closed. pretty much as long as you are at least 24 months post charge off, you should be good. But obviously, the further you are, the more your score will benefit. Or, of course, if you have none, that's the best case scenario. If the age of your youngest revolving, how the freak did it go dead again? And it's on the charger. Oh my god. F it. If you are at least 17 months post your newest account, 17.5. So again, we just say 18. So if you're be at least 18 months past the last time you opened an account to maximize your mortgage scores. So that's pretty much it. Let me see. Oh. No credit card increase within 6 months. Yeah. Yeah. Settle collections accounts before you apply for your mortgage. You don't want them to know you're actively seeking a mortgage. Is it worth it to get an attempt to get a medical collection removed now, even though they will be removed soon due to the new law? So that's all. That's up to you. I mean, if it's under $500, I wouldn't waste my energy unless you're applying for something now. Like if you're not actively like shopping for a car, shopping for a home within the next few months, I say you will be fine. But yeah, I mean, because it's really nothing that they can do. Even if you do dispute it right now, it's not like they can just remove it because the law, I mean, it has to get to everyone. So yeah. Do you settle a charge off with the original creditor or the collection agency? So if you can, always settle it with the original creditor. However, if the collection agency now has ownership of the account, you probably are going to have to go through them regardless. Because a lot of times they have sold them to a debt buyer and now they own the account. So whoever has current ownership of the account. How does student loans affect mortgage? It doesn't affect your mortgage score per se, more so than it affects your debt to income ratio, which will obviously come into play as you are getting approved for a mortgage. So your monthly payment, oh, now it wants to come freaking back on. Your monthly payment is going to be calculated into your debt to income ratio. Man. If they still waiting, they dope. If they still in here, wow. 300 people still in here. It died again. I'm sorry. And it's on the charger. So I don't know what's going on. It's not my fault. It died again though. A charge off over $2,000 at 6 years old? No, you better not touch that account. Also, if you have collections over 3 years old, please leave it alone. Please leave it alone. If any account that has not received an update within the last 24 months, your mortgage scores aren't even going to see it. They're going to omit that. So it's not going to be counted against you, nor is it going to be counted for you. So whatever type of account it is, if it's a collection and it's older than 2 years, don't just pay it. Don't decide you want to pay it right before you get a mortgage, because you're actually bringing that account back active. Because remember, your mortgage scores weigh all collections the same. So it doesn't matter if they're paid, settled, have a $0 balance, have a $2,000 balance, have a $5 balance. They're all weighed on the same scale. So when you take an account that has not moved, fuck, it did it again. I'm over it. When you take an account that has not moved in 2 years and make a payment, they have to report that payment legally to the credit bureau. So as soon as they report that payment, that brings the account back active. And your mortgage score reads that as a new collection because it didn't see it. Mind you, it wasn't counting it against you at first because it was essentially invisible. Now you have brought it to their attention, so now they have to weigh it against you. Stop touching collections that's older than 2 years. You should, if you was gonna pay it, you should have paid it when them people was mailing you. After a collection hits your credit report, the damage is done. That's it. That's all that collection is going to do for your credit profile. It's not going to continue to cause your score to decrease? No. The second that a collection hits your credit report, the damage is done. It's done. All of the damage that it will ever do to your profile. So merely just letting it hit your credit report is the only thing that like you could have tried to prevent to help the situation, because after it's already reporting, you going and paying it at that point is pointless. It's pointless. It's like walking through a blizzard and then getting in the car and deciding to open your umbrella after you have already sat in the car. You already wet. You soaking wet because you didn't ran through the blizzard. That's exactly how it is when y'all decide to pay y'all collections without asking for a pay to delete or anything after it's already on your credit report, or obviously without forcing them to validate the account. What about high balance charge-offs? So some lenders will, if it's over $2,000, if it's over $2,000 and within 2 years, some lenders will require you to settle it. But some lenders, if it's older than 2 years, they don't care, or if it's under $1,500, they don't care. So that you're gonna have to ask your lender that specific question. It's still on 1%. It's low key no point in me even keep trying. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna unplug my phone. My phone is on 100%. Did it die again? Okay, I'm over it. I swear I'm over it. All right. Nope, you're done, iPad. You are done. Wait, what? Should you not see what? It may be short wire. You're right. But that is a new freaking charger piece. I don't know how it would be, but that's probably what's wrong. Make sure you stop all disputes within 3 months of applying for a home, or if you still have active investigations going on, write the credit bureaus a letter requesting that they close all of your active investigations. You have to send a copy of your ID. And yeah, just ask them to close all of your active investigations. So, because that can prevent you from getting approved. Can you get a mortgage if you have an old repo on your credit? Yeah, depending on how old it is. So you're going to want to be at least 2 years post repossession or charge off for the best case scenario. But if you are within 2 years, depending on the balance, you may have to settle that account. So if it's higher than $2,000, you probably should just prepare to settle it. If it's lower than $2,000, that's up to your lender pretty much. But if you're at least 2 years, I will wait before I pay it, because most lenders will just say, as long as it's older than 2 years, we don't really care. Yeah, I think, okay, let me move it since they want to act crazy. Even if they raise the price each month of the collection, it doesn't change the score. Exactly, no, at all. But that does, that's a whole nother topic. But what that does is, if your collection accounts are constantly increasing and decreasing, that's re-aging them so that they can keep them within the statute of limitations. So a lot of times collection agencies will illegally re-age an account. So if you ever like randomly get an alert from Credit Karma or whatever, and it says, hey, your balance decreased on this collection $1, or it increased $1. Because $1 is typically what they will put, so that, because they know that if you see your balance decrease by $1, most people won't realize what's happening. They'll be like, oh, okay, I didn't pay it, but whatever. What they're doing is, number one, if they report a payment made to a collection account, that's considered legal validation. Number two, any change in the balance or the account status will cause the date of last activity to update. So if let's say your state has a statute of limitations for debt for 4 years. Let's say you 2 years in and the collection agency hasn't been able to get the money from you. A lot of times what they'll do is they'll re-age the account. So they'll report that you made a payment. So now the account, now they have 4 more years to collect on it and scare you and use scare tactics, like, threatening to take you to court to collect on it. Or if they want to sell the account, now it's worth more money, because a collection account that is at 50% of the statute of limitations is essentially useless. They can't get me any money from that. They're not getting no money from you, and they can't get any money because they can't sell this account, because it's useless, because it's about to expire. It's about to become time barred. They don't want that. So they'll be sneaky and they will report you made a payment or increase the balance by $1. So if you ever see that, that's not a good thing. Stop in your tracks and immediately, obviously, screenshot it. And you want to immediately send a letter to the credit bureaus, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, as well as the collection agency. Notify them that you did not make a payment. There should not have been a change in your balance. The date of last activity should be whatever it was prior to them making an update. And you are aware of your FCR or your FDCPA rights, and you just have to call them out on it. You just have to call them out. They don't think people know, so they don't expect people to catch this and know how to properly go about disputing it and challenging it. Another thing y'all gotta quit doing when it comes to collection agencies is making promises to pay. Verbal promises to pay or any payment agreement that you enter with a collection agency, whether that is verbally, email, social media, I don't care if you text them. If you enter a payment agreement, that is considered legal validation. Remember, payments, if you pay for your collection account, regardless if it's not yours or you don't agree with the balance, the second that you pay $1, that is considered validation in terms of the laws. So it's going to be that's why a paid collection is the hardest thing to dispute. If they don't, give you a pay to delete, it's the hardest thing to dispute because you've already legally validated that account. So entering into a payment agreement, unfortunately, that also is seen as payment. How easy is it to get you into a payment agreement? They say little sneaky shit like, okay, well, we know you get paid Friday. Do you mind if we call you back to discuss a payment or so that you can make your first payment? If you say, yeah, you have entered into a verbal agreement, payment agreement. And mind you are recorded. All they got to do is send a transcript to the credit bureaus. What is another way? They'll call you and they'll say, well, you know what? Just pay $5 today and then it's going to hold it. We'll hold this account. We're not going to pursue you legally. Just pay $5. Just pay $1 today. And then we'll talk about the other payments when you get paid Friday. You paying $1 just to hold that account or to hold them from legally pursuing you, because that's a line that they typically use. Now it's validated. Now they know they got you. As soon as you make one payment, you got to finish paying them or they can sue you very easily. Very easily. So yeah, they're very sneaky. Collection agencies' whole job is to get the money from you, and they have a lot of shiesty ways surrounding how they get that. The FDCPA laws was literally made because collection agencies were just wilding. Like they were violating people, like literally like suing people left and right, getting them to threatening them, scaring them. That's why it's a literal law that they cannot threaten you. Mind you, if a collection agency if they ever say these words, we are going to garnish your wages, or we are going to place a lien on your bank account. If they specifically say that, technically speaking, that is an illegal threat. The reason being is because a collection agency does not have the power to garnish your wages. A judge has the power to garnish your wages. They cannot just up and decide that they're going to take your wages. They have to go through court. A judge has to see through it or see to it that they get the judgment filed in their favor in order for them to garnish your wages. So them making empty threats telling you, now they can say we're going to sue you, because they can't. They can't say we're going to garnish you, but they be tricky and they say stuff like that because they obviously know that that's gonna hit people. You hear garnish, you freeze up, you're like, oh, let me pay them. If they say that is illegal. That is considered an empty threat. They don't have the power to garnish your wages without a judge or without a third party. What if they increase your balance? So some collections are able to gain interest, and it's all in how the original contract was written up. So kind of like an easy cheat sheet, and obviously this can vary by company, but an overwhelming majority go like if it's a repossession, it can gain interest. If it's a telecommunication collection, like Sprint or like cell phone bills, utility companies, they are not supposed to gain interest unless there has been any legal litigation within it. So if they sued you, obviously they can charge you attorney fees and stuff like that. But I meant like just straight interest to your collection account. Telecommunications typically do not charge interest. So if you see a collection balance increase and it's a telecommunications collection, that should raise a red flag to you. Medical collections cannot gain interest, no matter who it's with. They cannot charge you interest on a medical collection. They cannot charge you anything more than the explanation of benefits, the EOB. So if you see medical collection balances increasing, red flag, red flag. Mm-hmm. Oh. Call to. Oh, yo. Yeah, no. So a lot of times they get default judgment. So if you don't show up to court, the judge typically will just always give them a default judgment, meaning like they'll just rule it in their favor. That's why most people get garnished, because they don't go to court. If you go to court, the chances of your wages getting garnished is slim to none, because all you would do is be working out a payment agreement. That's why, like, if you are ever summoned to court, don't get scared. Don't try to, like, it ain't gonna go nowhere. You need to go to court. If you are not going to try to file a dismissal prior to the court date, or try to contact the company directly to work out something before the court date, you have to go to court. You can't just let the court date pass, because all they're going to do is grant them a default judgment. Back on TikTok. No, look, this iPad, let me see. It's still on 2%. It's still on 2%. As soon as I go live, it's going to go there. That's all in. That's your personal choice. I'm not going to be the person to tell you, like, you should not hire a lawyer or you should hire a lawyer, because I don't want to be responsible. Nah, you got to decide that on your own. Me personally, I wouldn't. I don't think it's worth the money, but because all you're doing is working out a payment agreement. Like, most of the times you won't even see the judge. The clerk will literally say, "Hey, the company said, do you agree to pay this?" If you say yeah, then you don't even have to see the judge. So most of the times it's a literal payment agreement. What time is it? Oh my, 10:30. What? How long have I been on here? 2 hours. 2. I caught it right at 2:22. Ooh. Shit, I missed it. What? It was 222 viewers on YouTube, and then almost I'm live 2 hours 2 hours 2 minutes and 2 seconds. Yeah, I know what I was trying to say. Hell yeah, I am sleepy. I've been up since freaking 5 o'clock. This is not my new home. This is where I've been living. My house is not gonna be done until probably November. Almost, boo boo. I know you sleepy. Here I come. Yeah. What score is used when purchasing a car? Most of the time it's FICO 8, but some companies will pull FICO 5. But most of the time it's FICO 8 by a long shot. All right, my bad. I was trying to see. I was cleaning my legs. Can you give me some ice here? Give me some ice. Oh, wait. Because I can see you. You don't got them. Here. You can just sit it right there when you come, unless you go put on some pants. Okay, what was we talking about? Hold on, y'all. Let me turn my computer, because I know her ass just gonna run in here. I know my child. She gonna run straight in here. You can dispute anything on your credit report. You can dispute anything. Now, whether it can be validated or not, that's obviously depending on whatever it is, or who the company is, what they have. Let me see here. You can. Oh, there's no ice. She brought me 3 pellets of ice. It was no more. Can you put a water in there by the door right here? Yes. Thank you, baby. All right. Let me see. I'm gonna answer a few more, and then I'm gonna get off of here. The iPad still on 2%. Yes, must be something wrong with my charger. I have your letters. I have 3 hospital bills. Then I'm debt free. Yes, send the HIPAA letters. Send the HIPAA letters. Do you have a HIPAA kit? That's the one I suggest because it comes with the follow. It comes with the initial letters as well as follow up letters that you can send if it's not deleted from just the HIPAA letters. It's $9.99 on the website. What is a good mortgage score to get approved? So I always suggest that you have at least a 630, your middle score. So out of your 3 credit scores, they will whatever number is in the middle. So if you have a 650, a 700, and then a 720, the 700 is going to be your qualifying score. They take the score in the middle, so have a middle score of at least 630. And then, of course, the higher your credit score is, the less amount of interest that you'll have to pay. So if you can get it above that, great. Technically speaking, you can qualify for an FHA loan with at least a 580, but like interest at that credit score is not worth it. Not worth it. I literally would suggest that you wait at least 6 months, try to, fix your credit, do the things that we discussed today, and then reapply for your mortgage if it's over. If your score is under 630. If a bank closes your credit card for not using it, will it hurt your score? Yes, it will. So anytime an account closes or even opens on your credit report, you lose credit age. And remember, for your mortgage score specifically, credit age is really important. It's of course important now, even to our current scores. It's 15% of our credit scores, which is worth 82.5 points. So it's important, but it was more important to your mortgage scores. Way more important to your mortgage scores. So yeah, try not to close any accounts within 6 months of getting a mortgage. That's not really, if I would always wait to close any account until after I get a mortgage, but that's just me. But if you just can't wait, oh girl, you scare me. If you just can't wait, then yeah. I have an account being reported by the original creditor and collection agency. What should I do? So that typically means that the account was charged off and then sold to a collection agency. First thing you need to do is when you pull your credit report, you need to see and make sure that the original creditor, which is the charged off account, make sure they are reporting a $0 balance. Make sure that account is reporting closed, and make sure that within the remark section or the comment section, it states that the account was sold or transferred. If it is missing any of those, literally any, it doesn't matter, you can challenge that account on a legal, on a factual basis, because charged off accounts has to include those things. Make sure the payment history is not still active. So if it's been at least 180 days since the account was charged off, make sure that they are no longer like reporting the account was charged. Like make sure they're not reporting like CO every month or C every month, or literally just saying that it's charged off every month, because your credit score reads that as the charge off is new. It's active. It's very new. So make sure they're not doing that outside of 180 days. What else? Yeah. Settle any charge-offs over $2,000 if you can. If a charge-off is older than 2 years, just ask your lender if they'll care about it or not, if they're willing to omit it or not. Yeah. You put a water in there? Okay.
2.
Thank you, baby.
Welcome.
Yeah, girl, I am very freaking sleepy. Lip injections? No. I overline my lips, but you ain't have to call me out like that. No, I've never gotten them. Ooh. If they're reporting charge off after 180 days, what should we do? You should just write them a letter stating that that the account was charged off over 180 days ago, and there should not be an active payment history on a charged off account past 180 days. So just ask them if they are. No, not ask them, but just say, hey, I'm requesting that you update the record, and close out the account so that there is no longer payments reported to this account. This account is a charged off account. It's a dead account. Ooh. Motherfucking looks so dry. What status is past due as of August, etc. What, like a late payment? Is it on an open account or a closed account? It depends on if it's on an open account or a closed account. I skipped over your question. I promise you I did not try to. Let me see if I can find it. I really can't find it. I'm not gonna hold you. Type it again. I'm looking for your name. Zoinks. Is it Zoinks? Zoinks. My FICO rep told me earlier today that they can report charge off each month. I was surprised by that. No, they cannot. It's not even so they can do it within 180 days. However, after that, the payment history should no longer be updated, because every time there is an update to the payment history of any account, that updates the statute of limitations, right? So it's not necessarily the fact that the account is reporting charge off that's really the thing that is wrong. The thing that is wrong is the fact that your statute of limitations and your DOLA date, which is your date of last activity, is being falsely manipulated, which is what I should have said you should mention that in the letter, because that's more so what's wrong with that, with the fact that a charge off is constantly updating, because every single time it updates, the statute of limitations extends, so it updates. The longer they have to sue you over this account, where the law has limitations on how long you can be sued for a debt. So if it's constantly updating just because they're constantly reporting the account was charged off, even though it was charged off 6 months ago, it's obviously charged off. The status is charged off. Reporting that within your payment history updates the account. The account is charged off. Yeah, of course it's going to report as a charge off every month because the account status is charged off. But the payment history shouldn't be, instead of, how like if you make a late payment, it'll update and say missed payment or late payment. Every time they update that payment history, that's what it's doing. It's flagging your credit report, and the charge off looks more recent than it could potentially be. If your charge off is 3 years old, but the last time they reported charged off status was 2 months ago, that charge off looks like it's 2 months old. So yeah, that's more so what I should have explained that better. But yeah, so it's not that they can't report it as charge off. I think a lot of people are getting confused. So yeah, it'll always be a charge off. Yes, it is a charge off. Your payment history should not continue to update after at least after 180 days of it being charged off. Yeah, it's one in the DIY kit. Man, I need some water. Oh, my matcha at the bottom. Dang. What FICO score do we follow if you want to get credit cards or loans? Typically FICO 8. That's the most, like most applications are going to use FICO 8. Like that's the most widely used version by lenders. FICO 8. The account is from 2018. Oh yeah, you need to get that to have them get that together. So with that, would I need to write a letter, because I have a few that are doing that? You will write a letter. Write a letter letting them know that the payment history on a charged off account should not update outside of 180 days of the account being charged off. This causes a manipulation of your statute or your date of last activity, which directly affects your statute of limitations. You don't got to say them exact words, but like something along the lines. I am in Central Time Zone, girl. It is 10:36 and I'm finna get off. 10:36. How much do you... What's the latest with the medical bills under 500? None. They still working their way downtown. What? They still going around, girl. We waiting on our turn. It's a lot of people that's already gotten theirs removed, though. I know in the Facebook group, it's like every day I see someone else saying like, oh, it was their day to get their medical bills removed that are under 500. So they're just going down the line. 29. I'm about to be 30 November 16th. I only have 2 secure cards for almost 3 years. Now, you know the limit is 1 year before you upgrade to a new card. You know, that's our law. What are you doing? Have you tried to apply for another credit card? Or you just kept them just because you wanted to? Like, are you actively seeking credit and you're getting denied? Because then we're gonna have to have another conversation. Because then now we gotta find the root of the issue. No, I'm in Texas. Texas, Dallas. Um, Look, I'm finna get off here because now y'all doing too much. I am not trying to skip your question. My bad. I'm on two different lives, so I'm reading comments from each live. Mm. You have a First Premier card? Nothing wrong with that. First Premier is a subprime credit card, so I do recommend it for people. Like if your credit is bad and you can't get approved for like other credit cards like Discover, Capital One, and stuff, try a subprime card just to kind of get your foot in the door so that you can build up your credit a little bit, and then apply for a more traditional card. And then after a year after you get your desired cards, you can choose to close that card if you want. But sometimes it's kind of like the only way that you're going to be able to start building credit, because no one else will give you a chance. Like I know if you're fresh out of a bankruptcy, like after the bankruptcy is dismissed or just closed or done, the first thing that you should do is go get a credit card. Go get two credit cards. Go get two credit cards if you can, and then get a short-term installment, like a self lender or a pledge loan from Navy Federal or whatever actual bank, if they have like a credit builder's loan or a pledge loan, which is essentially just you paying into a savings account, you paying into a CD account, and then at the end of the loan term, which is typically 1 to 2 years, they give you the money back minus like a small portion, like for their fees, like a very small percentage. So you're saving money but building credit at the same time, because every month they report it as an on-time payment to your credit report. They also report as a short-term installment, which you guys know that's kind of like a really great way to kind of fastly build your credit. Not fast, because obviously it's not a fast thing, but just like kind of like expedite your credit building in a way. Starting off with at least three accounts is always going to be your best option. First Premier is terrible. I agree. Again, they are a subprime lender. So that's why I said if you have bad credit, if you're fresh out of a bankruptcy, if no one else will approve you for a credit card, nothing wrong with getting a subprime card, and you can close it after a year. But if you need to get it in order for you to build credit, you need to do it, because what else are you going to do? Just wait 7 years until everything fall off your credit report, when by 7 years you could have had any cards you wanted. So sometimes you're gonna have to get a subprime card, and it is what it is. Sometimes you have to get a secure card. None of that makes a difference on your credit profile, because your credit score or the credit bureaus don't care if it's a subprime one. They don't care if it's a secure card. The only thing that matters is if it's an open credit card, you are paying on time, you are reporting a low utilization. That is the only thing that matters. What a $200 credit card can do for your credit profile, a $200 credit card can do the same for your credit profile as a $20,000 credit profile, because the limit on your credit card does not matter. That does not determine your score. It's all in the percentage in which you use that card, or the percentage that reports. Yeah, mortgage scores are FICO 2, 4, and 5. Thank you. I got these. My hairdresser called them peekaboo highlights, because like when my hair is straight, you can't really see the blind, and it kind of just like comes up from under, I guess. So I just said peekaboo highlights, and these are tape ins. Tape ins. Is Equifax usually the slowest to respond? In my experience, they are, and the most difficult. Slowest and most difficult. Double whammy. TransUnion is typically the fastest, and then Experian is the one that I like working with the most, because I feel like they're the most reasonable of all the credit bureaus. Equifax is the worst in all aspects, in my opinion. But the jump side to Equifax being the worst is if you have student loans, or like any account, but really any installment account, go, and if it's a charge off or a repossession or whatever, go pull all three of your credit reports, and then compare the payment history that Equifax has and the balances that Equifax has to the other credit bureaus. And 9 times out of 10, Equifax is going to be off, at least $1, at least a month, at least sometimes years. Equifax is just like horrible with their reporting. Like you find the most you find the most inaccuracies on. I find the most inaccuracies on Equifax's reports. So if you looking for something to be able to challenge, make sure you put an Equifax report. That's all I gotta say. Especially student loans. That's what I was gonna say. If you have student loans, the payment history on student loans is almost never right with Equifax. So keep that in mind. Wait, what was the great question? Where I'm missing it. Where? Oh, I just got approved for Amex last month. When and how do I go about getting another one? You could have got another one the same day. I like to tell people to apply for 2 Amexes in one day. Like if you get approved for American Express, the best bet is to apply for another one because they most likely will approve you, and they won't run your credit again, which they still shouldn't run your credit. But yeah, you can get it if you want to right now. You could have got it on the same day. But after this, after you get the next American Express card, don't apply for nothing else for 6 months. Don't apply for nothing else for at least 6 months, especially if you trying to apply for Chase and you just apply for American Express within 3 months of them. Nah, I would not recommend. If you are trying to get a Chase card and an American Express card, you always should get Chase first. Always get Chase first. American Express will tend to give you a higher limit if you already have a Chase credit card, as well as Chase is very like they're just sticklers about new debt obligations, so new opened accounts, and very like they care about inquiries a lot more than a lot of other companies, especially like competitors' inquiries, especially within 90 days. Because you apply for them, you apply for us, like, dang, you desperate, you want all this money, what's up? That's what they be saying. Those ain't my words. Hi, Bing. Can I expect my credit score to increase after student loan forgiveness? I got bad news for you. For a lot of people, their credit scores are going to decrease, unfortunately, because you're going to lose a lot of credit age, especially if your student loans, if your student loans was your longest standing account, those are the people that I fear for the most. If your student loans are your oldest trade line, them satisfying that balance and causing that account to close, your score is going to drop a lot. Your credit report is going to lose a lot of credit age. Mine, like my student loans are my oldest trade line. Well, for most people, honestly speaking, statistic wise, the oldest trade line on most people's credit reports is student loans, because that's typically, you get it. Most people go to college at 18, so that's typically the first thing that you ever put in your name, and it's typically the longest trade line. So it's going to hurt a lot of people. Unfortunately, especially if you don't have at least 4 accounts before that happens, your credit score is gonna really, really, really drop. So if you got 3 accounts and you've been thinking like, when should I apply, and you ain't about to purchase a home, you better try to open up another account before December. Because if you allow your student loans to close and they're your oldest trade line, and you don't have at least 4 accounts, so you don't have anything else helping your credit score to cushion the blow of what the student loans will cause, your score is going to decrease a lot, and it's going to take you a longer time to rebound from that. Whereas if you were to have at least 4 accounts, obviously, all of them are on time. Your credit cards are under 10%, but specifically under 3% to maximize those points. It's going to affect you less. Because remember, the only things that's worth more than credit age on your credit reports is your payment history and your credit utilization. So those are going to be 2 categories that you're going to want to make sure are on point, because you know that your credit age is about to be affected. So you know that this particular part of your credit score is about to be touched. So you're going to lose points. You got up to 82.5 points to lose for credit age. So depending on where you at and where you're going to be after that happens, that's going to depend on how much points you're going to lose. You'll lose less points the more points you have in the other categories. So lowering your utilization between 1% and 3%, having more than 4 accounts, not having any late payments in the last 24 months is going to help you a lot. Yeah, not any derogatory accounts within the last at least 12 months is going to really help you a lot. So those are things that'll help you. Charge cards don't report limits. Correct. Oh, maybe you were talking to somebody else. Right, they don't. better take what? Y'all must be having a conversation because I'm just butting in y'all conversation because I am confused. With Amex Go, how much do you? It is cold. Did the urges come on? Should have the balance. Hold on. Should you have the balance be on? Girl, I don't even know what you're trying to say. Hold on. With the Amex Go, how much do you or one? Oh, how much do you or one should have the balance on the statement day since the goal technically doesn't have a limit? Great question. Try to not report a balance on a charge card because, like you said, it does not have a limit. So any balance on a charge card is going to count against your other cards as well because you don't have a limit to report on this card. So whatever balance, it still has to be calculated somehow. So they're just going to throw it in with the balances on your other credit cards. And depending on what your overall balance is definitely going to affect it. So just try not to have even $1 on a charge card by your statement date. Especially when you're applying for a mortgage. We already went over that, but especially when you are applying for a mortgage, because your mortgage score is not only is it going to count whatever balance is on your charge card towards your other credit cards, but it's also going to count that balance, even if it's $20, as a maxed out credit card. Because mortgage scores cannot tell the difference between a card that does not have no limit or a card with the limit, because they just did not calculate for no limit cards. It just was not a thing back in the day. Like, they just don't calculate it for it. So any balance that you have on a charge card is going to appear as a maxed out credit card for your mortgage scores, meaning your mortgage scores will decrease even if you have $1 on your charge card. Man, look, I feel like I got that grit. Hold on. No, a collection account should not report a past due balance, nor should it report a late payment, nor should it report a past due balance, a late payment, or that's all I can think of right now. Past due balance or late payment. Yeah, collection accounts should not report that because there is no contract established between you and a collection agency. Therefore, there is no established due date, and without an established due date, there's no way that account can be late. You don't have an agreement with the collection agency. You have an agreement with the original creditor. Therefore, the original creditor obviously will have late payments reported from you. But when it comes to the collection agency, they cannot take your old history with the old company and report it as theirs. That's a misrepresentation of the debt. So if any collection account on your credit report is reporting a past due balance or a past due balance, I'm having brain fart. That's how I know I'm getting real sleepy. If it has a past due balance or a late payment or a missed payment, it is being falsely represented as an active trade line, in which it's not. So yeah, make sure your collection accounts are not reporting as trade lines. Make sure they're reporting as collections, which means that they just need to sit there and keep quiet because they don't have the rights of the original creditor. They don't have all those rights. So. Now wait, they can't report a balance due. Y'all getting what I'm confused? What I'm saying confused. They can't report a past due balance. So if you look at a charged off account, it's going to say you have a past due balance, and it's going to say whatever the balance that you owe. A collection agency can say you owe this, but they cannot say that you have a past due balance because that would imply that you have late payments reported to them. The balance can be past due if there is no late payments. There cannot be any late payments if there was never an established due date. To have an established due date, you would have had to sign a written contract that both parties agree to, you as well as the lender. So like when you go and get a cell phone, when you go and get a credit card, you agree that your due date is going to be this date. You agree to make sure that you pay them by this date. That is a legal binding agreement. You sign that contract. It's within the terms and conditions. You didn't do that with the collection agency. Therefore, they cannot assign you a due date or assign you any late payments or a past due balance. Yes, collection accounts can be open. So the thing is this: if the collection is unpaid, like if it's not paid or not settled, then it technically is open. If it is satisfied, so paid, whether you settled it or not, then it should be closed. If you have any collection that you have paid or any collection that has a $0 balance on your credit report and it's still reporting open, you can use that as a dispute reason for a factual dispute, because if the balance is 0, then the collection should not be open. Shouldn't be open. That means that the account is satisfied. Now, if you just made a payment, they do get 60 business days to make that change. So if it's within 60 business days of you making a payment, you can't call them out yet. But the 61st business day, you can write a letter to the credit bureaus to request a deletion. Yes, girl. I'm sleepy. I'm gonna get off here.
Are you done?
Yeah, girl, I am sleepy. Nah, tomorrow I can't do it because we got a busy day tomorrow. I'll maybe at night, maybe like later on in the evening, kind of like around this time. I'll see. But yeah, I'm gonna talk to y'all tomorrow or whenever. Make sure you're following me. I do lives almost every day, answer questions. I typically do credit consults where I bring you up. You can ask me, any question you want about your particular situation, and I'll do my best to advise you on what to do, what not to do, all of that. So yeah, make sure y'all following me. I'm out, y'all. I'm sleepy. I don't know what else to say.